Sirius XM, the virus. The Opie and Anthony Show.
Back with the O&A Show. Thanks for checking us out today.
Hi.
A little over 2 hours, and then it's meeting time.
Oh, boy. The countdown. Great. Yo.
Where's Jimmy?
Jimmy went to go get an autograph.
Ah.
Yep, he's got a picture. Did you get it?
See him. No, he's
What?
somewhere.
Wait, he's in the building?
The Fonz is in the building?
Hey.
I have a good picture with him, but I just want to get him to sign it. But
Yeah.
I missed, because Spencer said he's coming up right now, but I had to come in and get the photo, because I didn't know he was here this
Shit,
early.
so where'd he go?
I don't know. I'm looking for Spencer all over. He's here somewhere.
What show is he doing?
He's doing a bunch of them. We tried to get him, but he won't do any. They said he was very nice about it, but he's afraid of all the
What
shock
if we
shows.
promise that we won't do anything crazy with him?
But, and then he knew we had Brooke Shields. I think he's just nervous about this kind of
Is he doing BT in the morning?
No.
No.
He's actually a big fan, but he's doing
Oh, Jesus, no.
BT in the morning.
No, there's not.
Yeah.
You're like, Phil Zetley, come on.
I gotta get him to sign it, but I don't want him to use cardboard because it fucks up when they sign on cardboard because the.
Oh, you get the, the little corrugations.
So how's it going to be? What is he going to sign?
He's rolling.
I don't know, Opie. I gotta find
You're
something.
panicking. Where's
No
Bert?
one's helping me.
Where's the Conqueror? Where's Bert the Conqueror? Is Bert here?
Yeah, he's right outside the door.
You should use,
Put newspaper over the cardboard and then put the photo on.
Nah, it'll still fuck up. But thank you.
what a dumb idea.
Hey, Bert. What's up, brother?
There he is.
Hey, man.
The fuck is this?
Take a seat there, Bert.
Oh, Juice. Thanks, Roland.
Oh,
Obviously,
Hey,
you're...
Roland. Why does your voice sound all gravelly?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Jets.
You wore that shirt just the other day.
Oh, I did an eagle. I woke up at 7.
Oh, shit. A nagel.
Yeah.
Did your alarm screw up, or did you lose power, or both?
I did exercise for the first time in 20 years, and this fat ass passed out.
What'd you do?
Wow.
The bike.
You know people die from that, right?
No.
Like
Yeah.
not working it up 20 years.
Yeah.
And then you just start working out. And it's like,
you gotta-
damn.
You got to
That's
start
always how the heart
slow.
attack happens at the gym.
I don't remember.
Because it knocks some of that plaque off your
I did
arteries and then
elliptical for an
clogs some
hour,
shit up.
Went home, passed out, then I woke up at 7:10, 7:15.
Wow. You beat the shit out of yourself.
You literally passed out and then woke back up like
Yeah.
like your body did a snooze alarm on you.
Yeah, and I just woke up and then.
Which means you're not working out anytime soon, huh? You're going to have to take a couple days off now.
I don't feel sore. I feel like more refreshed. 'Cause I slept in. That's fantastic. But
Oh, because of the sleep part,
The
not the
sleep
workout part. Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Roland tweeted me last night. I was with you guys know Cowhead, right?
Yes.
I was with Cowhead drinking, and
Is he here in New York?
yeah, he just left this morning.
What's he
long was he
doing
here
up
for?
here?
He came up to see me do Letterman. He flew
Oh.
up
Well, you
there.
guys are old friends?
Yeah, I've known Cal since
He's a good guy, man.
for
I
a
like
long,
him.
really long time.
He should have came by and said hi to
He was going to change his flight, and then he was like, he's got to go back and do radio this afternoon.
How was Letterman?
It's awesome, dude. It was so surreal. It's so bizarre when you get him to laugh and do a Daveism, like when he does that like smirk to camera, like or one of those, and you're sitting there. Like when I sat down on the thing, I started giggling because I was like, holy shit, this is really fucking happening.
Yeah.
Like it's such a benchmark in your career.
The first time, that is a fucked up thing.
And he does one of his bits, and you get him to do one of his bits.
Yeah.
He's like, you're one of these guys, huh? And you're like, fuck, holy shit.
He's doing that to me. What the fuck is going on?
It's like fucking a porn star, and then being like, oh my god, I'm really gonna blow a load on her chest. Like, that's probably a bad analogy that Travel Channel would hate, but that's exactly what it feels
What
like.
the hell?
When you stand in the back there, and he's like, ladies and gentlemen, our next guest, and
so
you just,
and
you're
all
like,
the guys that you've seen as characters
like,
on the show,
oh,
the black
shit.
guy and the guy with the red hair, and you're like, holy shit, they're real. They really have
I
jobs.
know, that's fucked up, man.
It's so
And then you walk
bizarre.
out and you think, how am I going to walk? Should I look at the audience and wave Wade?
Yeah,
Should I
I'm
do-
like, exactly. Oh, fucking exactly. It's like Jim is the perfect body of this moment. Is that you're very real in those like I'm not famous, but I should wave to the people.
Yeah.
You embody that because you're very honest about that moment. But a lot of guys are like bullshit. Like a lot of guys would go out and be like, hey, like paparazzi was waiting outside.
Yeah.
And I got out of my car in a white T-shirt that I was sweating in and jeans. And they're like, hey, turn here. And I was like, you don't want to fucking see me. You're waiting for Shia LaBeouf. So I walked out. I just walked out like a fucking serial killer right to the chair and sat down.
Nice.
And then you sit down, and for some reason, I was compelled when I sat down to just go, hey, Dave.
Yeah,
like it's like, hey, Dave.
Did you want to look at Paul and go, hey, Paul?
Yeah,
like,
you just
I want
want
to say that shit.
All you realize you're doing is an imitation of everyone you've seen. Dude, it's hilarious.
You're just like the A-listers that do the show.
Yeah. It's like, I earned this, motherfucker. I earned this.
When inside, you're like, you don't want me to be on that couch.
And then it wraps, and you're done, and you want to lean over and have the moment where
Have that talk where it's like,
yeah,
the music's playing, they're going to commercial.
So
I think I did that just to make it look like that.
Yeah.
Because the people at home, they don't know.
Yeah.
So you lean over and you're like, hey, so you go to commercial, huh? Just to make it look that way. And I did realize all I was doing was an imitation of everyone I've seen on Carson, on Letterman.
Just
on
mimic
every
it.
other, mimicking from when I was a kid.
We had to walk out,
great.
and there were tennis balls all over the fucking stage.
I saw you got y'all's
We had to
appearance.
walk.
Oh, yeah.
And we
It
dressed
was
up in
great.
suits.
Oh, it was
like
great.
we're going
That
to
was the one
church.
thing. They're like, what are you going to wear?
What are you
And
wearing?
Calhead called me. He's like,
What are you
do
wearing?
not wear a fucking suit.
Don't wear a fucking
You've never
suit.
worn a suit in your life. He's like, he's like, go like you're on stage, wear a t-shirt, jeans, and your boots. And I was like, yeah. So I packed it. My wife's like, who the fuck do you think you are, Johnny Depp? She was like, get a collared fucking shirt and pack a colored fucking shirt.
slob.
So
What
then
are you
I
doing?
showed up with 4 colored shirts because I was like, I don't know which one will look good.
Yeah.
Oh, I was such an amateur. Oh, it was
Know who
ridiculous.
loves you over
no,
there
we
is
don't like the
Justin
guys.
loves you.
Oh, Justin's
Justin's
yes.
emailing me. He's
Justin's
like, you have
cool.
to have Bert on the show. I'm like, we're going to have Bert on the show.
Yeah.
Relax.
Justin was amazing.
This is
I
a
met-
good fit for us, Bert the Conqueror.
I met him through Cal, and
Yeah, he's very cool.
oh, one of the fucking greatest guys. Him and his brother.
Yeah.
And it was like
Solid
and
dudes.
They told me they're like. So these are the talking points that you're gonna do. They bizarre. Like Travel Channel's very. I can say whatever I want on this show.
Yes, you
On
can.
this show,
They're
yeah.
very micromanaging me because I'm a little bit of a media nightmare. Like I have
Yeah.
a horrible digital footprint. Like my first meeting with the president,
funny.
she was like, "I typed in your name and I saw you get your asshole waxed," and I was like, "Yeah, that was my
Yeah,
funniest
I
thing
did
I've ever done." And she was like, "Yeah, well, we're not. That's not us.
We don't do that.
Wait,
here.
why did you get your asshole waxed?
It was a long time ago. I had a show called Hurt Bert, and I take Dangerous Man's jobs, and that was like what got the show. I got a full Brazilian wax. It's maybe the funniest thing I've ever done, and it's before Jackass. It's before all of that.
You did ball bag?
Yeah, I did the whole thing.
Wow.
I'm telling you when I say this, it's the funniest thing I've ever done. But it's also when segments were 7 minutes on TV, so it's like a 5-minute segment. Which
Fuck
you know.
that.
So, I get there, and the producer Mike's like doing a conference call in the morning, and he's like, so we want you to tell about the time you robbed a train in Russia. We want you to tell you about the time that you fought a bear. We want to tell you about the time that you went to Disneyland and took acid. And then maybe we'll talk about the show. And I can see the PR people going, what the fuck? Just talk about the show.
just the show.
And so I get there and I'm like, man, there's a lot of material. And they're like, it's going to be 9 minutes. And I was like, holy shit. And then Shia LaBeouf goes long and they're like, well, it depends. It's however long Dave wants.
Shit.
And but I was so nervous I had to tell all these stories that I've never, like, on national television. And then Dave just fucking so comfortable. He's like,
Yeah.
Oh, he must
he
have
made
been loving it.
He's,
Hey, can you tell us one of those stories? Because we didn't get to watch Letterman last night.
I didn't tell any of them. I just told.
Oh, you
I
didn't?
No, I didn't. I ended up not. We just ended up talking about the show.
Why
And
did you jump, Bert? I read that you jumped like out of the. My ex-girlfriend did that, where you jump off the thing in
Stratosphere.
Vegas.
I was
Yeah.
the first person to do it.
Were you?
Yeah, I was the very first
Wait,
person
before
to do it.
before we go there, I want to
The
hear.
guinea pig.
Hold
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
before we go there though, I want to hear about you robbing a train in Russia.
Oh,
That's
a
crazy.
fucking-
Because and then we'll get into the show and all this crazy shit you've done as Bert the Conqueror. I want to know more about Bert.
I'll tell you. It's so fucking bizarre because I've heard this show so many times, and you always think like, what will it be like with the first time I'm there? And then you're like, oh fuck, I guess I'm telling this Russian mob story. So I studied Russian in college. Just on a fluke, I thought it was a Spanish class, and showed up at noon, and they were introduced a different alphabet, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
You come across as a party animal. How the fuck did you take?
I was the number one party animal in the country.
Yeah.
Rolling Stone magazine wrote an article about me, calling me the number one party animal in the country. So yeah, I'm not fucking, by any stretch of the means, wanted to learn the language. I just wanted to see. And the lady said, I need 14 people to take the class. If you stick around and just show up, I'll let you fucking get a C. I was like, done.
C,
fucking done.
Yeah, man.
It's Florida State. Fucking phone that shit in. So I ended up I had to take 4 seasons of Russian because all the kids that took it with me with Russian 1 then needed Russian 2 and 3 and 4. And then they go to Russia and they're like, fuck. So this is back when the mob ran Russia, okay? And so they told me on the flight over there, like, listen, we had to pay off the mob to chaperone us so that we don't get patted down everywhere we go. So we got 2 young gangsters that we'll meet. They're like, don't make eye contact with them. Don't engage them. Don't fucking... And nothing. Leave them alone. They're just to make sure we don't get robbed everywhere we go. And all I'm hearing is fucking, let's get to know these guys.
Yeah.
Right? These are who I want to party with. So the very first night, and I don't speak any Russian, the very first night I got a bottle of vodka, a 6-pack of Baltica, and I knock on their door, and this guy Igor answers the door.
Igor, yeah.
With just a wife beater and a cigarette and fucking track pants, total gangster. And he's like, "Shto." And I'm like, all the sentences I had practiced in my head just disappeared, and all I said with a bottle of vodka and a 6-pack of Baltica was, I am the machine. That's all that came out of my mouth. And he fucking starts laughing. He's like, what did you say? And I was like, I don't know, I'm the machine. And he's like, he's the machine! And then I ended up partying with him and all his friends for like an entire, 2 months, and they called me the machine. And so I mean, we partied like crazy. We went to a, I really shouldn't tell this part, but we went to like a mob boss's party, and the mob boss was like, I mean, I don't know if he was a real boss, but he was a big guy on the thing, and he was like, so this is the machine, and Igor's like, yeah, this is the guy I tell you about. And I was with one of my teachers who was a girl, and he goes, tonight I say we exchange women, and I was like, women? She's just my okay, all right, sure, yeah.
Yeah, whatever you need, man.
And he totally ended up fucking
whatever
her.
you need.
He totally ended up so then we have to go to Moscow. Now, a different mob runs the trains, and a different mob runs Moscow. And Igor said, I can't go with you to Moscow. I can't even get on the train with you. But I've talked to the people that are going to be chaperoning you, and they're cool. They're going to party with you. They'll take care of you. And sure enough, man, we get to the train, and then 2 other gangsters, Igor and Igor, there are not a lot of names there, I guess, but these are their real names, are there. And he's like, this is the machine. If you give the machine vodka, you'll have a blast. And they're like, machine does not sit and coach with his class. The machine sits first class. I'm like, this is what I'm fucking talking about.
The machine.
And I mean, literally, before we took off, the conductor of the train comes into our cabin, rips off the lapel to his shirt, hands it to me, and goes, this is a present for the machine. It would be an honor to do a shot with you. I was like, these stories have gotten out of control. So within 20 minutes, we've drank all the booze. And Igor and Igor are like, let's go to the bar cart and get more vodka. I was like, sure. So we go into the bar cart, and Big Igor's like, machine, go behind the bar and grab bread. And I was at Kleb, and I'm like, oh shit, I understood what he said. He's like, grab sear. And I was like, that's cheese. He's like, grab vodka. I'm like, I know that one.
I'm learning.
And then he's like, grab all the money. And I'm like, what?
Oh, shit.
He's
Wait
like,
a minute.
grab the money. And I look, and no one's fucking moving, and it's just him patting down people, and I'm behind the bar with a fucking loaf of bread, a bottle of vodka, and I'm like, holy shit, we're robbing the fucking train. So we take the money, and we go back to first class, and the energy has changed in these guys' eyes. You can see it's like they're real gangsters.
Now it's business.
Like, Igor was a pity-pat gangster. These guys, I mean, our teacher came back to yell at me, this lady Val. She came back, and she was like, you, sir, this is exactly, that was inappropriate. Big Igor takes a sip of vodka, spits it in her face, and goes, no one talks to the machine like that. She's like, I'm like, she does. It's okay if she does. He shuts the door. I swear to you, he then lifts up a thing of keys, and he goes, tonight when it gets dark, we're going to have some real fun. I was like, what? And he's like, we're robbing the whole fucking train. I'm like, motherfucker. Like, this has gotten way out of control. And sure enough, man, it gets dark, and we start fucking breaking into cabins.
It's like a Bond movie.
It's the most insane fucking event in my life where you're just sitting watching a crime happen, and you're like, I wish I could stop it, but you're just part of it now. So we get done, we drink the whole night on the train, we pull into Moscow, and that same teacher comes up, and she's like, the police have been alerted. We've told the authorities, we told you not to hang out with these people. It was your choice. I don't know what to tell you. And I was like, motherfucker. And Igor are like, fuck her. This is Russia. No one tells us in Russia. Mafia runs Russia. And I'm like, fuck you. I'm going to go to the gulag. I'm going to be a punching bag in the gulag. Yeah. And we pull up, and sure enough, man, the cops are sitting on the platform with my whole class who we robbed is sitting in their pajamas with their bags open, crying. Because if anyone ever woke up, like this one Hungarian girl woke up, and Igor just spit vodka in her face. So the cops are out there taking a thing, and Igor goes, fuck this, I take care of this. And I'm like, oh man. He goes out, and mind you, half of this is in Russian. He goes out and starts talking to the cop and yelling at the cop, like, I don't know what he's saying, but he's not like they're not exchanging
It wasn't
recipes.
bread and cheese.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting in the fucking train car with little Igor, just thinking, "Oh, I'm fucked. I'm fucked." And then the cop starts yelling back, and they start pointing at me like, and I'm like, "Oh, motherfucker!" And then the cop looks at me and points at me and says, "Yes!" Like, get over here now. And I'm like, "Motherfucker!" So I walk out of the train, walk across the thing, and it's that moment, that like Midnight Express moment.
Yeah,
where you're like,
yeah.
This is the end of freedom.
I'm fucked,
This is that cold where they find the pound of hash on your body.
Yeah.
And I walk up to the cop, and he looks at me and takes a beat, and he gets right in my face, and he's like, "So I understand you're the machine." He's like, "Tonight you party with us." And I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And we went out and partied with these fucking cops.
Russian.
That was
It was it was Russia. It was the Wild West. It was.
Oh, by the way, machine, we need for you to kill someone tonight.
They were bizarre, man.
Yeah, that's like, wait a minute.
We went to a strip club, and he goes, "You drive cop car," and I'm like, "I'm not gonna fucking drive a cop car." He's like, it was bizarre. There was a magazine out at the time, like a periodical that used to talk about these two guys. I remember reading it when I got back. They would, I'm sure I'm gonna exaggerate the story only because it's been in my head for so long. But they would get a head from a cadaver and they'd write an article about it, and they'd put it in the middle of the car and see how much it would cost to get out of having a head in the middle of the car. I swear to you, I don't know what it's called. I don't know what it's called, but these guys would write these articles. It was fucking insane.
How much you'd have to pay?
Yeah, I don't know.
To be like, okay.
Yeah, and it's a head. We get rid of the head. And Russia was insane back then. Like, insane.
What years?
This is 90, probably, I was 22, so probably 95, 94.
Yeah, so that's okay.
Yeah.
Communism gone.
Yeah.
They're just trying to figure shit
It was
out.
the Wild West, man.
Yeah.
Like, the most insane life experiences you could ever have. Stealing boats, like, just... And we went over their study.
You're a weird fit for the Travel Channel now that
Yeah,
I've talked to you for a few minutes.
We did a meet and greet at the network, like right after the new regime took over, and they're like, I told that Russian mob story when I was on the X show, like 10 years ago, and we're doing like Fred Graver's the head of the Travel Channel, and they're doing like, so tell us, how do you interview kids? Like, because kids love my show. Like, I don't know why kids are obsessed with Bert the Conqueror. Like, if you've got a child that's like 4, show him Bert the Conqueror, and he's fucking glued. Like, and so he's like, how do you interview kids? Like, what's your, and then one of the young kids is like, can you tell about the time you robbed the train in Russia? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then someone's like,
I got it.
tell about the time you thought Will Smith was going to rape you. And I was like, oh, all right, sure. So, yeah, I'm an odd fit. I'm not like the other guys. But I think all those guys are like that kind of. You party with them.
Yeah.
Adam Richman's funny as shit. He's...
Damn, man. Yeah, the Travel Channel. Well, the Travel Channel's changed a bit over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it used to...
I mean, Bourdain was a heroin addict. So...
Who?
Oh, is that not?
No, I don't know.
No, Anthony Bourdain. Yeah, Anthony Bourdain. I think it was pretty well documented.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah. It was a heroin addict. I feel like I'm fucking just said down.
I didn't know who
outing people, yeah. Yeah, let me tell you about this gay guy.
Wait, I get them all confused, though. Bourdain did what show now?
He's the older.
Oh, No Reservations.
Yeah,
Okay.
No Reservations, and then it's Zimmern, me, and Adam Richman.
Right, okay.
I think, are
Gotcha.
the host, and then Zach and those guys are Ghost Adventures.
Man. Wow. So,
insanity, man.
yeah, absolutely is.
Yeah, so they wanted me to tell that
Wait, and
story.
you were voted the #1 partier
Yeah.
at Florida State?
Yeah.
And Florida State was named the top party school.
Wow. Yeah. So then if you're the #1 partier in the party school...
What makes you the #1
that's fucking
partier?
crazy.
I don't know. It was kind of like one of those just, how media...
Is it just alcohol or is it drugs too back then?
I mean, yeah, I was in college.
Yeah. Not even an answer, just yeah.
Yeah, like so I partied a lot. But then I just had outrageous stories. Like I was kind of I was the guy that like when I got to New York, everyone's like, you'll never be a comic because you're the party guy. Like that guy is never funny on stage. Like it's just everyone always says, if you're funny in a room, you're usually not funny on stage. It's the quiet guy who's in the side of the room thinking who's funny on stage.
That's what alternative guys think.
Yeah.
They think that because a lot of them are not funny in real life, well, that's what makes me special.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
Colin's funny in person. Keith is funny in person.
Yeah,
Most-
that's what was so
most
confusing.
good comedians are funny in person.
All the guys I gravitated when I moved here was like Jim, Bobby Kelly, Ben Bailey, like DC, and then all the black comics like Tony Woods, Donnell Rollins, because I worked at the door at the Boston Comedy Club, and they were all funny to be around. And I was like, well, fuck that. Like, I don't need to go to the East Village. I'll just do stand-up over here.
Be cool.
Yeah, but I took a shit on a pizza box to win an election, and that kind of got their attention. And I just had like bizarre stories. So then they were trying to write an article about Florida State originally, and it was too broad a subject. So then they just narrowed it down and just wrote an article about me.
Damn. Gee. Rolling Stone, right?
Yeah, Rolling Stone. And then Oliver Stone optioned the rights to my life. I got offered like a book deal, and then I did stand up for the first time in Tallahassee, and it went really well. Like, now I'd never do it now because I followed 4 national like touring comics from Florida who each did 20 minutes. What a bad fucking in a bar. What a bad setup, right? and they're like, you just close the show. They wanted me to fail because they were like, fuck this guy.
Right.
And then I went up and I just didn't have any material. I'd never done stand up, and I just kind of talked for 20 minutes about whatever came to my mind, and I did really well. And they offered me my morning show in Tallahassee, and I was like, are you serious? And the guy's like, yeah. He's like, you come work with me and be my sidekick, and then in like 2 months I'm leaving. I'm going to New York. I go, why aren't you staying in Tallahassee? He's like, fuck, who wants to live in Tallahassee? I was like, way to sell it to me. I was like, I'm fucking moving to New York too. And then moved to New York and started doing stand up. But yeah, like I guess I was just always loud. Like, just one of those. Yeah. And I end up getting into weird fucking scenarios. So
that's the
party. How many years since you lived in New York?
It's got to be like 10 now.
I remember Bert. You know, every night I would see him, or 3 or 4 times a week. I can't believe it's been that many years since I saw you every night.
Yeah, I used to work the door. Boston Comedy's dead now, I guess.
It's not a club anymore. It's a restaurant.
Yeah, those are fucking. That seems like a lifetime ago.
Yeah, Red Johnny and the Round Guy and Chappelle.
I see him all the time.
You see Johnny, right?
I see Johnny all the fucking time. And Chappelle would come by. I remember that was like when Chappelle was like getting fucked by the industry, but he hadn't lost his mind yet. Not fucking horrible to say, but you know everyone knows.
No,
I'm sure he does too. Yeah. But I remember him telling me like I just got a development deal with Will Smith, and I was like really excited.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, I remember. Those are like the most defining moments. So I remember Patrice O'Neill said the most brilliant thing to me. We were in Scotland together, and I had gotten this deal, and I'd gotten a TV show. It was me, Voss, and Patrice living in like a fucking flat, and fucking Patrice is just genius. Yeah. Sitting across from me, eating blood pudding with 5 eggs and just fucking sausage and meat. And just, you know,
what brilliant thing did he say? Bert, I'm going to die before my time.
he was like, you know why I feel bad for you, Bert? And I was like, I don't know. And he was like, just slopping it into his mouth. He's like, you got no foundation. I was like, what do you mean? He goes, when all this goes away, you go back to zero. But until you're a comic and you can fall back on a career of comedy, you got nothing. And I was like, in my head, I was like, who gives a shit? I'm getting on a TV show. And then sure enough, all those TV shows went away, and I was like, I got fucking nothing.
No, I got nothing.
Nothing. And literally, like Jay Moore just fucking saved my life. I opened for him one night. I'd never met him. I'd met him like a couple times, but not like didn't know him. Met him, opened up for him in Ontario. KP Anderson was featuring, I was hosting, and after the first show Thursday, we did 2 shows Thursday, Jay said to me, so do you want to be like a real comic? And I was like, fuck yes. And he was like, okay. And he's like, KP, we're going to switch it up. Bert's going to feature. And then he's like, if you can do this, and you'll be my guy forever. And I was like, fuck. I went up, featured, killed it. And Jay was like, check my schedule. You'll just tour with me from now on. I was like,
damn.
Oh, like fucking.
That was easy.
Yeah, that was
great. Yeah. Great.
That's awesome. I'll take a movie.
That's great. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's bizarre coming back to New York. I don't like. I don't like it as much as I used to.
Where do you live?
I live in LA.
Oh, okay, LA guy.
Yeah, 2 kids.
Oh, LA's great when you're working though. It's like every New York comic thinks you're supposed to hate LA, but then you go out there and you got a gig. It's actually fucking nice when you're doing a gig.
Fucking great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like I love living in LA now. I've had like a month off. Because we wrapped Bert the Conqueror in this other show, and I'm not going on the road again until like the 2nd week, 3rd week of July, and it's been fucking awesome. Just getting. I got a man cave. Do you guys know the show Man Caves on DIY?
Yeah, we make fun of man caves on the show.
I fucking got one, and they're the fucking best thing ever. It's like shaving your pubes for the first time. You're like, oh, that does look gay, but it's fucking awesome. And it's the best. I just get weird as fuck in that thing. Kegerator, wine refrigerator. Are you shitting me? I'm obsessed. I'm fucking all the gay shit I made fun of when I was younger. I'm like, fuck, I'll take it.
I'm gonna do it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so you're not working right now?
No, I'm off.
See, this is what we were just talking about.
I know, right?
Why the fuck are we working every day?
Just taking
Sorry,
some
Bert.
time.
Anyway, that's something.
Not having to deal with it.
When was the last? But you guys take vacations.
Yeah, we get vacations.
Yes.
Like, and you know
5
you
days
have
a week.
time off. Yeah.
To know you're going back.
We're pretty much slaves to this place right now.
You know when you're going back?
We got some shit to figure out down the road.
Why did you jump? I don't know if it's for a show. No.
I just wanted to get to know him a little bit before we start talking about
I actually didn't know that.
The show.
I didn't know if it was for the show or not. Or
it was for the show. It was they had just opened it, and we had it was like the first season, and they called and they were like, they got this new ride in Vegas it's called the Sky Jump, where you jump off the side of the stratosphere and you land on the ground. It's not bungee. And I was like, in my head, I was like, oh, it can't be that bad. But I had no frame of reference for how big the stratosphere was. I mean, it's as tall as the Sears Tower. So I get there, and I see it, and I start fucking flipping out. And then the night before, I had a full-blown anxiety attack, like throwing up in a bathtub,
shit.
Soaking wet with sweat. Called my wife, and I was like, I'm fucking running away. I'm going to drive to the middle of the desert and not show up. And she was like, you can't do that because they're going to sue us for the production cost. And she was like, call the producer and tell him you just can't do it. So I called Dan Adler, the head of one of the heads of our shows. I was like, I can't do it. And he was like, that's fine. He's like, I get it. There's going to be things you can't do, but I need you not to do it at the top. Like, I need you to be dressed on the edge.
Oh, ready to go.
And then not do it. Like, if you do that, then I can make a show out of that. But if you just say at the bottom, oh, I can't fucking do it. He's like, we don't have a show. So I was like, oh, okay. And in my head, I'm like, oh, fucking easy. I can do that.
Oh, he worked you so bad.
Man, yeah.
I have to say, he
brilliant.
Got you bad.
I get dressed in
Just
a
put
suit.
the head in. That's what that was.
Right.
He's singing.
He
He's
got
slipping
you
with a
so
moccasin.
bad.
1 finger, 2 finger, cock. It's so
That's a smart guy right there.
So I get dressed in the outfit, and I'm like doing interviews, and I'm like, oh.
Knowing the whole time, I'm not doing
Yeah,
this.
I'm not fucking doing this. And I was like, throw me from your building. And everyone's like, yeah. And everyone's chanting, Bert, Bert, Bert. And I get on the edge, and my camera guy, who's obsessed with your show, by the way, Scott Sands, he's literally from day one, he's like, what are you doing, O&A? So he listens to every fucking episode.
Awesome.
So he's on the side of the building, harnessed in. This guy's fucking a gangster, not afraid of anything. And harnessed into the side of the building, leaning off with the camera, like this fucking big 900 camera. And I'm on the edge, and I'm doing my reads, and I'm like, and in my head, I'm going to back out any second now. And he's like, starts giggling. I was like, what? And he lowers the camera, and he's like, there's like fucking 400 people here. I go, what? He's like, the mayor's down there with a shot of tequila. Like, he goes, it would be easier for you to jump than spend the next hour and a half explaining why you didn't jump. And I looked around, and there's like little kids around the glass enclosure like, Bert, Bert, Bert. And I look down, there's fucking people waiting for me. I'm like, holy shit. And he goes, dude, it's 16 seconds, and you'll never have to fucking explain why you didn't jump. And I was like, and then I just started fucking losing it. And I was like, fucking, I'm jumping. I'm on the phone, fucking jumping. And they're like, and everyone's like, no, we're not ready. We're not ready. Hold on, don't jump. And I was like, fuck you.
I gotta do it now, yeah.
And I just jumped, and it was the best feeling in the world. Like, I said it on the show, but it's better than the birth of my second child. Like, wow. Like the first one you really remember, and then your second one you're like, oh, I remember that kind of. I think I took a Xanax. We watched Uncle Buck, but I got on the ground and I was like, I was alive. There's a moment when you do these crazy fucking events, like where you like bungee jumping in LA, where off a bridge. And that moment where the ride works, where the thing works, and you don't fucking die, where you've never felt more alive in your life. Like shovel racing in New Mexico, you just sit on a shovel and go down a mountain at 70 miles an hour, like in snow. The first part of shovel racing, you're like scared, and you're like, and then all of a sudden you get to like 40 miles an hour, and you're going good, and you're going straight, and you're like, oh, I'm fucking halfway down, and you're like, fucking charge it. You're like, those moments, I get chills thinking about it. But the sky jump was like
when
that.
did it happen for the sky jump? The minute you left, or the minute because you don't slow down until you hit the fucking bottom.
The minute you feel the pulley system starting to work. Like the second you leap, you're like, motherfucker, and then all of a sudden you feel your body go parallel, and you're like, okay, this is working.
Do you feel like you're being lowered or falling? 'Cause I heard it's like a controlled descent.
It's not as intense as like say like I did an unattached free fall, which they don't do anymore. It's illegal now, but they take you up in like a fucking tower, like a 15-story tower, and then draw you up, and there's a net underneath, and then they lower you below the cage in this harness, and they just pull a pin and you fall into a net like 12 stories. Wow. There's no fucking feeling like that. I mean, I've skydove. I went skydiving with Rachel Ray, and that was like cool and crazy, but it's like that feeling of free fall. You don't get that on sky jump. It's beautiful, it's crazy, it's insane, and you definitely feel like you're free falling for like probably 12 seconds, 16 seconds, but it's not as intense. Like bungee jumps is more intense, in my opinion.
When you fall into a net, they have to tell you how to land so you don't fucking drive your chin into your fucking
They
knee.
don't tell you a fucking. That's why it's illegal now.
Fucking thing.
They literally. I mean, they didn't check. That thing was so. Let me tell you something. This fucking ride. It's called. I forget what it's called. They won't even show it on my show anymore. Like they don't show that episode that I did it in.
Why? You did it.
Because a girl got hurt, and so, this ride, when the guy made this ride, he was like, "This is gonna take over fucking theme parks. This is gonna be the biggest fucking ride ever, right?" So he goes to Vegas to the big coaster convention and puts it in the parking lot, and he gets his time to speak, and he goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna revolutionize theme parks. Bungee jumps will be obsolete when you see what I have to offer, and if you'd like, I have a demonstration waiting for you outside." The fucking whole place stands up, walks outside, and they see this 15-story tower, and the guy goes, "All we do is we put a guy in that," and they start doing it, and we draw him up, and we take him up there, and we drop him, and they drop him, and they forgot to raise the net, and they killed a guy.
No.
First fucking time when they showed the fucking ride. First, talk about fucking like,
Yeah.
How do you forget to
Back
raise
to
the
the
net?
drawing
How
board.
did he go? Or there's no net. That's fine.
It's happened a bunch of times. Like, it's happened more times than is legal, so that's why they shut the ride down. But yeah, that's insane. One of the craziest moments.
Oh, fuck. That's
Bungee jumping seems
that's
like
great. I can only do it once.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm not into heights. I can't do. How was skydiving? Was that really horrifying?
Yeah, because I'm a micromanager and like anxiety. So like I can totally get myself into a panic attack easy. And the night before, I'm in New York. We did it in New York, and I'm sitting in my hotel room, and I start Googling deaths of skydiving.
Oh no! Why?
Well, that's not going to help.
Why?
So uncomfortably high. Like you'd think, what would you think the number would be? Like 5 a year? I mean, like you'd think you'd hear about them.
For the whole country?
Fucking 40. Like they die all the time.
Man.
The mayor of Pennsylvania, some town in Pennsylvania, died like the week after I went. Like it happens constantly. And so my whole fear is like, what if the chute doesn't open?
Yeah.
Like,
That's the biggest.
that's your thing. And
Well, that's pretty much it.
That's it. That's the only thing you give a shit about. And so Rachel was sitting next to me. I haven't flown sober in 20 years. And I'm flying sober backwards in some dude's lap, and I'm grabbing Rachel's leg like fucking panicked. And she's like, she's freaking out, like, calm down. And then she says, "Whatever you do, don't watch me go out of the plane." I was like, "Why?" She was like, "Just don't." And of course, I'm like, "I'm fucking watching."
Now you're gonna watch.
You get sucked out of the plane, just like in a movie. And I see that, and I start losing it. And then the guy's like, "We're next," and I'm like, and I'm doing all the nervous hand things to stop. And the first drop, you feel that it's an awesome feeling. But then there is a moment when you're screaming at the earth, 3 miles above the earth at 120 miles an hour, where your brain says, "What if the chute doesn't open?" And then the only rational thought is, "Fuck it!" Like there's nothing I can do about this moment.
Yeah, done.
When you're falling, how do you not flail and kick? Isn't that your instinct?
You hold on to. They tell you just hold on to your straps, and we'll do everything. The guy said to me, he's like, "You can't kill us." Like that's what he said. He's like, "You can't." And in my head, I'm like, "I could totally fucking kill us."
I bet I could kill us.
I guarantee you, I could fucking kill us.
Oh, he was a tandem jump?
Yeah, it was tandem.
Oh, okay,
He was
okay.
hold on.
What if you punched him and knocked him out?
Exactly. Yeah, I was like in my head. I was like, I could think of 10 ways. I bet I could come up with the most original way to kill us that you never fucking saw coming.
You're not gonna do it on purpose, but all of a sudden you lose it because you're freaked out. You knock him out.
Well, he's like, if at like 6,000 feet or 3,000 feet, an emergency chute will open.
Yeah, it's like set on an altimeter. Yeah.
So.
Oh, is that how they do that? So you don't have to pull
it's
it?
an emergency
No,
thing.
you have to pull it,
but there are chutes that will open when you hit a certain altitude if you get knocked out or.
How do you know what the fucking height is?
You have a watch that has it's an altimeter, like so.
What if it falls off?
It's not gonna fall off, Jimmy.
But these are all the thoughts I was having.
Yeah.
In bed the night before.
Jimmy's innocent questions are adorable.
But it's true. What if your watch fucking breaks?
Yeah. Oh, exactly. What if you hit a fucking bird and you I always think of that shit.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
You
right.
hit a
That would
bird
hurt.
and
Would that
you
hurt?
get knocked at 120 miles
Knock
an hour.
the fuck out.
It would be like catching a foot to the face out of a car window. Oh, that would fucking. I thought
Like
of all
Fabio
this.
on the roller coaster when the bird hit him in the face.
That was talking about
classic.
luck.
I know.
Hey,
Great.
can we take a break?
Yeah, we could do that.
Could you stay, Bert?
Yeah, of course.
We got Linda Hogan at 9.
Shut up.
You want to stay for that? You can.
We're gonna ask her about.
I grew up in
Warrior.
Florida.
We're gonna ask her some shit.
the Ultimate Warrior was saying some really bad things about
Basically,
like Hulk
that she was passed
and
around,
her.
passed around to all the wrestlers, and we
like,
have to ask her about it.
And it's not a wrestling work; it's like real.
Yeah.
This guy.
I have some very good questions.
And Jimmy's got very
Yeah,
good
we'll let you
questions.
ask some good questions.
Yes, Jimmy prepares.
Yeah, Jimmy prepares.
He types out
for
his
interviews.
questions.
Well, we
and
only
everything.
got the book yesterday, so I didn't get a chance to read it, so I just perused.
Just
You
read the
peruse?
end. I think it ends with a divorce.
Yeah, you just read the end.
Yes.
I want to find out if Hulk fucked beautiful Elizabeth.
All right.
But I don't know if she knows that. Well, I bet you can ask her that.
You probably
Wait, you
could.
know that?
Yeah. That's Randy Macho Man Savage's
Yeah.
big beef as he went down and Elizabeth was there and Hulk was like naked. Then he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, Elizabeth's in the other room, brother."
Yeah.
I was a big wrestling. I grew up in Florida, man. Wrestling was like
Huge.
and they all lived there. Like you'd go to the
It's
matches.
like
and
E-Rock.
see-
He grew up in Florida, and he loves wrestling.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he rocks
We're
from
in Florida,
Florida.
dude.
He rocks
From
a
Long
Florida
Island.
guy.
What?
Listen, Bert the Conqueror, Wednesdays, 10 p.m. on the Travel Channel. We're going to take a quick break, continue with Bert, and then Linda Hogan at 9, all right?
I'm going to go out and meet Fonzie.
Oh,
Yeah.
Henry Winkler's here.
Yes.
I just
Yeah.
met him last night.
Did you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's funny as shit.
Did he do Letterman?
Yeah, he did Letterman. He did like their Is This Anything game.
I saw him on a reverse mortgage commercial though last night. It was kind of freaky. Like,
What
what's
is
the
Fonzie not
Fonz?
going to have a place to live? Of course he
Fonz is
is.
doing a reverse
He doesn't
mortgage
get that Happy
commercial.
Days money, I guess, huh?
I was waiting. I had to tweet it like I was like, "What's next, Pinky Tuscadero?" in one of those vaginal prolapse commercials. How's your vaginal mesh?
Did you like Pinky or Leather?
I like leather.
I hated the way she did this, though. The fucking...
How could you not?
And the point,
That's fucking awful.
that was her thing.
Yeah, look at that leather
Fucking
Tuscadero.
mullet. It was really awful.
All
And
I
what were
remember
the
from that is
twins?
The Malachi Crunch.
The Malachi,
Malachi Crunch.
Right.
The twins were the...
The twins that Fonzie never fucked, but always made it seem like he was gonna.
who were
Fonzie
they?
never had sex with anybody, never fought anybody.
Yeah.
He's just a fucking talker.
I wonder why he didn't want to do the show. Believe me, we would have brought this all up.
No, but that's not Henry Winkler. It's Fonzie.
Exactly.
Talk about Pat Morita had the fucking worst gig. Guy could speak perfect English. And they're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
fucking, can you
Can you dumb it down?
Chink it up for us, if you don't mind.
Yeah, there you go.
I was watching The Karate Kid the other day, and I thought to myself, do you think at any point Daniel's mom was like, I think this janitor's trying to fuck my son? They spend a lot of time together.
We go to break with that. More with Bert the Conqueror next.
Sirius XM. The Virus. You're listening to Opie and Anthony.
All right, what's going on? We got Linda Hogan coming in about 20 minutes. Bert
Oh, she's
Kreischer.
going to be in the fucking room?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes it so much more uncomfortable.
Oh, I know. It's going to be bad.
How do you say your last name?
Kreischer, you said it right.
Yeah.
Kreischer.
And it's Bert
Kreischer.
Kreischer on Twitter. Kreischer. He's a good one to follow. Bert the Conqueror, Wednesdays, 10 p.m.
I do.
on the Travel Channel.
I do something on Twitter. I haven't done it in a while, but I do something called What Will the Maid Think? Where I take pictures and go to bertbertbert.com and you'll see it. I put
You got bertbert.com? Fuck.
Bert.
Bert.
Go to blog, and I leave the room in a way so the maid goes, "What the fuck it happened in this room?" And this is literally
What a great idea.
it's awesome.
What the fuck is that?
That's just some pillows and a robe. Here, go back and see
Holy shit, it's pillows and a robe set up to look like someone puking in the toilet.
Yeah, and then I leave the room like that. This one's one of my favorite. These were the shoes from my wardrobe that day and the jeans from my wardrobe. And then that's
Holy
a lamp.
shit.
These are the fucking funniest things.
You make it look like there's a dead body under the bed. That's
yeah.
classic.
Here, go to the toilet snake's my favorite. I did this one at the W here.
Too bad you can't get the reaction.
How fucking great is
You
that?
should get a camera set up.
I should, except it's
Illegal, aren't they?
I mean that, and I like, God forbid, I did it. It got really big, like it got really big in like Sweden, like they
Really?
fucking for some reason like Scandinavia. Fucking loved this shit. This one's really simple and just genius. Like,
Oh, fucking the sheet out the window tied to a chair leg.
Oh, that's great.
I literally Scandinavia exploded about this. They've like crashed my site, crashed everything,
That's
and then the
great.
Today Show got a hold of it. Like, and they were calling me the world's worst traveler.
Wow.
Yeah,
Hey, look who it is.
Henry
Winkler.
I saw you last night.
There he is.
Yeah, how you doing?
How are you?
Hello.
Hi, Henry. How are
Henry?
you? Pleasure to meet you.
How you doing?
Opie,
Good?
Anthony, Jimmy,
Yeah, you
Bert.
guys are funny.
Oh,
thanks,
thank you,
man.
sir.
Absolutely.
Do you want to sit?
Thanks.
I don't mind standing.
No. I'm so good. I'm standing. I'm
My
having a great time.
my wife was getting burgers at the Park Meridian, ran into you and said, "Man, that Henry Winkler is the nicest guy ever."
But okay, listen, the burger joint. Now, to me, best burger maybe in the United States.
It's crazy, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
and no one knows about it
It's
until
hidden in a corner.
Everybody talks about the Shake Shack.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah.
Okay. But the burger joint at the Park Meridian used to be P.J. Clark's on 53rd and 3rd. We would stop there. We would land in New York, and before we went to the hotel, we would stop there for a burger.
Yeah.
But the burger joint is like out of control.
It really is great.
We
man.
ran into you.
Yeah.
And you couldn't have been nicer. You could have been nicer to everyone around you.
What are you promoting?
You know, I've just written a book. Well, tomorrow, one of my favorite television shows that I've ever been on, except for Happy Days, is Royal Pains.
I thought you were gonna say Bert the Conqueror.
Oh, you know what? I don't know that show yet, but I'm
Don't worry,
watching
no one
it.
does.
No, I'm watching that.
Oh, thanks.
Do you do that show?
Yeah, that's me. That's me.
Yeah.
You can't talk about your book.
No,
I'm
you
sorry.
look great, even in the studio.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So I can imagine how adorable you are on TV. What is Bert the Conqueror?
Henry, see, it's like I said,
No,
he's
but
so
what,
nice.
What channel is it on?
The Travel Channel.
What do you do? Okay, so the book is called I Never Met an Idiot on the River.
Bert's losing his mind. I know.
I was at the Late Show talking to him last night, and he's talking about fly fishing with Justin, and I just sat there and I was like, I can't believe it's Henry Winkler. Like it's so. I went up and they were all talking, and I go, my name's Bert. It's a pleasure to meet you. And he goes, hey, and I go, I just want to listen. And I just stood around the corner and listened to you talk.
That's not creepy at all. That's perfect.
But I met those two guys.
The Stengels.
Who are the head
The Stengels.
writers.
They're friends of ours.
Oh my God!
They're great
I
guys.
met them on Twitter because I'm a twittering fool now.
Yeah.
And I am 50 people away from 61,000 fellow Twitter people.
boy, you'll get that.
You want to see the power of the show?
Here
What's
we
your
go.
Twitter?
Huh?
What's your Twitter?
H Winkler 4, the number 4 real.
Oh, okay.
I
H
started
Winkler
following you
for
last night.
real.
For
Yeah.
real, right?
So, but anyway, I met the Stengel brothers on Twitter, and I met them first when they were twittering live from Charlie Sheen's show, and I swear to you, they were so great at it.
Funny.
It was like I was in the seat with them.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
You got every emotion, every feeling about how horrible he was doing. And the next thing I did was I tweeted with them. They were having a Seder at Passover.
Yeah.
They're actually Jewish. And and I thought, oh my God, I'm no longer hungry. The food was so delish. And then I got to meet them, and I did my second comedy bit last night.
Yeah.
On the David Letterman show.
You were great.
Oh, thanks.
You killed.
Thanks.
I have a copy of your book they gave us.
I never met
yeah.
an idiot on the river.
It's like you're holding a big fish. Looks
Well,
like when I
because
tell a
it's
big
about
fish
fly
story.
fishing.
Oh,
Oh, wow. Here, you want to see? This is
Henry,
but where they are.
It's
is-
about fly fishing, you said?
No, it's called I Never Met an Idiot on the River.
Okay.
And it started as pictures that I took while fly fishing on the river. And then they asked me to write, what did you learn on the river? I'm going to here's one. This is 8:30 at night. Here.
Beautiful. That's
nice.
I love a good
a
sunset.
sunset, right?
I love the sunset.
You like a good sunset.
I sure do.
So that's what it's about.
I tried fly fishing, I guess it's almost 2 years ago. I loved it. I thought I went as a joke because one of our friends likes doing that.
Right.
I'm like, all right,
Where did you go?
I'll go for the joke. Up Roscoe.
Uh-huh.
And I had a ball, man. It was
great.
awesome. I didn't
really
catch anything,
difficult.
but
Well, you know what? It is not that difficult. You learn it in a half an hour.
Yeah.
You apply it to the rest of your life. And the fact is that when you're
What's wrong
Sorry,
with you?
no. I just thought of how many things in my life I learned in a half an hour that I still do. I was like, wow, you could say that about a lot of things I do.
But let me ask you a question. I really want to know, what is your show about? I'm going to watch just for the laugh.
Oh, good. That's all I do. It's laugh.
He's beat red. What's up with you,
I don't know.
Bert?
It's just bizarre that.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I know that you guys do this every single day, but I don't just hang out with Henry Winkler every single day.
No, but what is your show about?
He just wants to know.
In a sense.
I do. I'm a tour guide for thrills. If there's something crazy and wild in a city, I go out and do it. Like if it's a bungee jump off a bridge,
Right.
if it's redneck water skiing.
So what was the most amazing thing you've ever done?
Probably jumping off the stratosphere. I was just telling Jim. It was like a life defining moment, like just overwhelming.
Right.
Getting over anxiety.
That first moment, is it so scary that you don't know what to do?
Yeah. Full blown anxiety attack, not breathing. Like I went to the bathroom in my pants a little bit.
Right.
It was
Sure. It was
I
a little
understand
much.
that because I just did, and I have never done it.
What, have you ever done anything
I
like
went to the
that?
bathroom on pants just listening.
Me too. I did too.
We're kind of starstruck today. We talked to a lot of celebrities, but I'm starstruck today. Bert,
Who's the most famous person you've met?
The most famous,
Like that kind of overwhelmed you, and you're like, God, I can't do the Fonzie
It had
thing
to
at
be a
all.
U.S. president. It had to because Fonzie's one of the most famous
Yeah,
characters ever.
I'd like to meet our president. I would like to meet Barack Obama.
Is it weird to you that you know for a fact he knows who you are? Like that, men like that know you.
Yeah.
I don't know that he knows.
Of course he does.
You're
Everyone knows
an
that.
I would take that
icon.
for granted
You're an iconic character.
until I look him in the eye. You know.
Who did you meet that actually blew you
Yes,
away?
I'm trying-
though?
you know, I have the hardest time meeting rock stars. I met Elton John, and I went, "Hey, John, I want to tell you." I met Mick Jagger on a plane, and I went, "Shut up!" Couldn't speak.
Did he know who you were?
Yes,
He had to.
Yeah.
Said,
Hi, Henry. How are you?
Popcorn.
I met Bruce Springsteen. If I ever am reincarnated, I'm coming back as Bruce.
Wow.
And I
Yeah,
met
Roland's
him,
a
and
big
I
Bruce
met
fan.
his wife. I kissed her hand. I shook Bruce's hand, and I kissed his hand. And I thought to myself, what did you just do? Leave
awesome.
the room now.
No, that's so crazy that it almost sounds like it's an artistic thing to do. That's so nuts. It
I
almost
wasn't
works.
thinking artistic. I
Right.
was thinking embarrassing.
Yeah. No, it works.
fan.
Henry, they're saying you have to go, but we have to ask you one thing.
Yeah.
Why didn't Fonzie ever beat anyone up? We have talked about this on our show off and on for
so many
years.
times.
Everyone was
That's
scared
true.
of Fonzie, but
I'll
we're
tell
like,
you
he
why.
never beat anyone up.
I'll tell you why. Because power comes from inside. Cool is from inside. You don't need to hit somebody. You don't need to make fun of somebody. You can just be, and with that, intimidate. I just did a movie on cage fighting.
You sound like Joe Rogan when you said that.
Okay, he was in the movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
I saw a promo for it this morning.
I would hate to fight a cage. I'd probably get beat up or something.
you know what? You would. Because these men are Zen gentlemen, and in that ring, they will eat your heart
That
out.
is true. We've had a lot of them on the show, and they're the nicest guys.
Oh, my goodness.
But
Yeah.
then you just see them in the ring, and they just flip a switch.
But Boz,
Boz Rutan.
yeah, Rutan,
Yeah.
was one of my actors in the movie. He was my corner man, and Boz. He said, I tell you something, he's from Holland. I tell you something, I'm sitting in a bar and then 5 men, they come to me and I go, okay, I guess so. And I stand up and I start to walk at them and they go, no, we want your autograph. Because he can kick you twice before you ever knew you were kicked once.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I
That's
can shake
amazing.
your hand, that's about it.
Yeah.
We got to push the book because we got to get
Yes,
Yes.
they're saying, it's called I've Never Met an Idiot on the River, and it's a lot of photographs and things that
Are they nice
Henry did.
photographs?
They're really great, actually.
Thank you
They
very
are
much.
excellent. They're excellent. I like
Yes.
good photography.
It's a pleasure meeting
And a
you.
true
Absolutely.
legend, Henry Winkler.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well. Hey, Jimmy, don't
I won't.
ruin my picture.
Oh, you guys bothering poor Henry for pictures.
Thank you so much for stopping in.
Could you sign your book,
thank
Mr.
you.
Winkler, and then we'll leave you alone? Thank
Then
you
we'll
very
leave you
much.
alone.
To Jim on the cover, because I'm going to display it in my.
We're still
my
on the
thing.
air, but it's okay.
Yeah,
I think they know.
yeah. It's Henry Winkler.
That's, come on, listeners.
Trumps everybody.
Hey, listeners.
I took a picture of you and I tweeted it with Jim Norton.
Do you know what? I was not supposed to be on this show.
I know.
Walked
Yeah.
in,
This is great.
I listened to you guys. I'm so happy I was here.
Thank you very much.
I wish I had something to do with the show.
You've
Thank
come
you.
up on the show
Great
so
to
many
have met you.
times. It's a great to
We
have
get
you,
a bad
have you on finally.
reputation, but
Thank you.
There goes
Thanks a
Henry
lot.
Winkler,
Bye, guys.
everyone.
Take care.
That was cool.
man.
Thank you to Bert because he saw Bert in here and he came in.
Fuck
and,
Bert.
Yeah, that's right.
Bert turned beet red.
Do you think when? Okay, here's my question.
Yeah.
Hold on.
What,
Oh,
Kenny?
Kenny's
What
got
happened?
Kenny's got a news alert.
We didn't.
It wasn't because of Bert.
Oh.
He saw the Opie and Anthony logo. He says, these guys are very funny. And
does-
Roland says, why don't you go in and say hello?
How does the Fonz know our show?
Oh,
See,
my
that freaks me out a little bit.
God, am I?
That's crazy.
Not that it's about me,
Yeah.
but look at the picture of Henry, and oh my God, it's fucking Darth Vader without the helmet. I should never.
Jimmy!
I'm just fucking ugly.
This could be one of the worst pictures of you I've ever seen. I swear.
That's a Make-A-Wish picture.
You know what's the worst thing is there's a glare on your face.
No, the worst thing is my 9 necks.
It looks like your chin has balls.
That is, because you always go, ugh, I took a horrible picture,
No.
and I look and usually go like, no, that's not bad. You look good. That is one of the worst pictures I've
I'll
ever
tell
seen
why.
of you.
Because he was taking a photo with Chip. I didn't know he was going to come in.
no.
And Chip, oh wow, I've been recording this whole thing on my phone. I didn't
Oh,
mean
wait,
to.
look at that.
But
Oh, God, that
Chip-
is a horrid picture of you.
let me just play the beginning for you. I did not know that this was going to, hold on, happen.
Oh, you have some audio.
From the, very beginning.
Oh,
Let me see.
okay.
What, of meeting them?
Oh, no.
Yeah, before.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
Hold on. Hold on. Let me see if I got
That's
it.
so cool. He's like,
He just kind of came in. That was great, right?
knows the show.
Do you think? Here's my question, right? So when Fonz was the biggest thing in the world,
Yeah.
and he
was.
still was Henry Winkler. He
Yeah.
is who he is.
It was always weird to see him as Henry Winkler because you want to know him as Fonz, that he walks through life as the
Hey.
Fonz.
Yeah, like how weird do you think that was when people were like, "Oh shit, it's a Fonz," and he's like, "Hey," how you
And he's
doing?
like, hi, I'm Henry.
"Yeah."
The actor.
I bet the studio was like, "Can you not go out much?"
Yeah, or if you do, you wear the jacket, kind of go a lot, put your thumbs up, squee.
Oh, this is the show. Hold on.
Oh, Jimmy's taping things
No, no,
for the
this is
show.
just my photo with him.
He's doing
Hold on.
show prep.
Hold on. There was a bit of a chip bomb.
Uh-oh.
Hi, can I ask you to sign a photo of us together?
That's meek Jimmy.
To Jim.
Okay, this is outside the studio before he came on.
That was last year? Yeah, at Barnes & Noble.
Bottom.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, don't humiliate me.
Wow.
He said tie. Okay. Take the picture. Oh, come on.
Can I take a regular photo with
All
you?
right. I sound like I'm seducing him sexually.
It does sound like I'm listening to you guys fuck.
Holly.
Like shoes or something?
Oh, no, you didn't.
Hold on.
What did you do?
God,
You chipped him.
Because he mentioned his tie.
Yes, you chipped Henry Winkler.
Wait.
Can I take a regular photo with you? That one's
All right.
Thanks. I don't wear ties. I can never tie them like shoes or something.
Oh, nothing. It's just silence. Oh, how embarrassing.
Do you know how unfunny you must think I am?
I could never fight a cage.
Just like you find a cage or something.
Bert, you turned beet red during the Henry Winkler's.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre.
It is weird.
I was
you know?
starstruck. I mean,
That's like fucking-
That's a biggie right there.
Oh yeah, and
I grew up with Happy Days. What
He's
the
ju-
fuck?
He is an American icon, a world icon.
Sure.
He can't go anywhere without people knowing him. Hey,
It's so
Fonzie.
true. I never understood it, but when you said no, everyone knows who he is.
Yeah.
The president does know who he is.
I said that too.
That's no, you the one who said it. Yeah.
No, you didn't say anything.
Guy who wants credit. No, I said that.
More importantly, we learned that Henry Winkler knows who we are today.
I'm
Yeah.
amazed
So let's
by
take
that.
that home with us.
Amazed by that.
today.
And you know what? The strength comes from the inside.
That's right.
I can't
He
imagine.
answered the question.
That was a
though.
great question.
Although,
I mean,
you
a
know,
great answer too.
Fonzie Fonzie should have punched somebody in the face.
Yeah, he should.
Early on, first season when it was done on film,
or stab somebody.
Like
prison, first day in.
You gotta just beat the crap out of like Ralph Mouth. He just bloodies his fucking face, bam, pounding his face into the floor, and just fuck you, Mouth. And then you realize why everyone's afraid of him for the next 10 years that the show's on.
Yeah, nice man. Just a nice man.
He is
funny though, man.
Yeah. Really, just a nice, quiet man.
We should take a break and get ready for Linda Hogan.
Yes.
She's going to be here in any moment.
Another nice man.
And Bird, you can stick around.
Yeah, I have a flight at 1:45.
Yeah, hang out, man.
Just move over to that mic over there.
So Linda's in the middle.
Bert the Conqueror, Wednesdays at 10 p.m. on the Travel Channel. We'll talk about the show a little more after she leaves.
We don't need to.
After she runs out of here.
It's going to be
after she flees this studio.
She's going to
ask horrid questions.
She'll be nice.
By the way,
awesome.
Opie?
Yes.
Meeting in an hour and 10 minutes.
Right,
Yay!
I'm ready for Linda Hogan now.
Hey, this is John Velvey.
Hey, this is Larry the Cable Guy. Hey, folks, this is Mark Maron. Hey, this is comedian Nick DiPaolo.
What's up? This is Joe Rogan. You are listening to the Opie and Anthony Show, my favorite show in the history of the fucking universe.
All right, we got Bert Kreischer in studio from Bert the Conqueror. He loved meeting the Fonz. Henry Winkler was cool.
So cool.
He's going to have to come back and do a longer segment with us. He was worried about doing our show because we're shock jocks.
Well, I guess he knows.
Well, we put on a different hat for Mr. Winkler.
Oh, yeah. I wrote a pilot. I tried to sell it with me and Jay Moore for Comedy Central based off of you guys.
Really?
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. It was called the Shock Jocks. It was about it was you guys, right? In my head, I just hit you guys, but you guys have been kicked off the air again, and you're like, well, there's no redemption. We're never going back. So you guys started a radio station in Mexico, like right on the border of San Antonio. So like your shit played into it, leaked into the state,
right?
But you could do, and it was lawless fucking Mexico. So you're like, all right, we're gonna kill puppies this morning.
Yeah,
and you're like, if you get a question wrong, we kill a puppy. And
That's
you had like
great.
a fucking thing, a litter of like runaway dogs, and you're like, first question, who's the Secretary of State in 1812? And the girl's like, I have no idea.
That is great.
Yeah, and I took it, and then they were like, we like the pitch. What would they look like? And I was like, fuck. And so I literally tried to draw. I'm a worst artist, but I drew a picture, and Jay was like, I'll do it. He was like, write a one page, let's sell it. And I pitched it to Comedy Central, and they're like, you got to be like a real animation guy to do that.
Fuck.
But, it was going to be an animation?
It was well, yeah. Well, I was going to do it. I could do it. You can't really kill puppies live.
Yeah, that's kind of rough.
Like, I mean, it would be hard, but if you did an animation, you could totally
kill puppies.
Fucking
You
kill
could do whatever
puppies,
the fuck you want.
Donkey show, you name
South
it.
Park has proven that.
Donkey show.
Like,
Yeah.
imagine the shit you guys could do if you had no laws.
Yeah.
How great would that be?
Like, just being, it would be like NEW.
We had the run
Girls
of the place.
firing bottle rockets out of their pussies.
I just checked my Twitter, and you were on Joe Rogan's podcast, and there was something about a dream, an Opie and Anthony dream or something.
I told this.
I did not hear this yet on the Rogan podcast.
He goes, so, okay, this is full disclosure. So, like, probably 5 years ago, like, I've been listening to the show since you guys got to XM. And so 5 years ago, I had a show on Spike that was about video games. And I was like, Anthony's a huge video game guy.
I love him, yeah.
So I was like, oh, I told the publicist, we did a tour, and she goes, I go, get me on Opie and Anthony, because Anthony loves video games, and I guarantee we could talk forever.
Oh, no, we said no.
And they're like, no. Why? And I said, no, I know Jim, but, and she goes, then call Jen. I go, I'm not calling Jim.
You could have called me.
I know, but that's not who I'm not that guy. And so I go, I want it to really happen or not to happen. I'm not going to force myself down someone's throat.
Gotcha.
So she goes, they said no. And I said,
no.
I said, call back. I forget who was working here. I think it was Ben.
Oh,
wow, that's old stuff. Yeah.
And I go, tell Ben that I'm a listener, I'm a fan of the show, I'm friends with Jay Moore, and that it's about video games. It'll be right up Anthony's alley. And they were like, Ben said fucking no.
Oh,
and I was
man.
like, all right. So in my head, I'm like, not a big deal. So then I get another TV show. Oh, no, I do my hour special. And they do the whole fucking radio tour. And I go, the only show I really want to do is Opie and Anthony. And the lady does the thing, and she goes, yeah, it's not going to happen.
Why the fuck? Why?
So wait, hold on. So it gets fucking, it gets really aggressive,
Oh,
right?
no.
So I'm like, I go, are you serious? And she goes, yeah, if you know someone, you can call in. So I run into Voss at like the Improv, and he's like, how come we're not doing Opie and Anthony? And I was like, I tried. And he goes, just fucking call him. I talked to Bobby Kelly. He goes, just fucking call him.
Yeah.
And I go, I'm not. I want it to go through the right channel. I don't want to just fucking. And so then I get Bert the Conqueror first season. I go, hey, we'll do the tour. all I want to do is Opie and Anthony. I'm on fucking TV with Jill Nicolini, and I'm not doing fucking Opie and Anthony, right? And they said no, and I go, are you serious? And they're like, yeah, I think it's Opie. He doesn't like you. And I go,
why is it always me?
In my head, I go, I fucking met Opie with Jay Moore, and Opie said you had been canceled then, and you're like, yo, you're really funny. If we had a show, we'd totally put you on.
Show, yeah.
People love to put all that shit on me.
So I
didn't even know you.
I know,
and that was the reason we said no, probably.
And so I go, fuck. So the second season of Bert the Conqueror airs, and I go, I know it's going to be a no, but I really want to do Opie and Anthony. And they're like, and my publicist Caitlin goes, I've tried again, it's not going to happen. So I started having dreams that I'd get in the studio and you would fucking make fun of me because I was like, Opie hates me. And so in my dreams,
it comes down. That's my flow.
You and management have the same dreams.
I hate management. Yeah.
So I'd have dreams, and so Rogan, I was doing Rogan's podcast, and he was like, I said something. I had a fucked up dream last night. Oh, I told my dad. I was like, I called my dad, and I was like, I had a fucked up dream. My dad's like, you still dream? I was like, he's like, what do you dream about, ponies and shit? And I was like, sometimes. And so I told Rogan, I said, yeah, I had a fucking dream where I was doing radio with Norton, with Opie and Anthony. Norton wasn't in studio, and I came in, and you fucking annihilated me because it's my dream. So you are me, and you're saying all this shit about me that I know is true that hurts, and so I'm mounting a fight against myself, but it's you, and we're fighting, and you're like, so this Rolling Stone thing, you're just still gonna ride that? Like, is that the only thing you've ever fucking done? I'm like, oh, motherfucker! And you're like,
he knows me!
And so I told Rogan, and Rogan thought it was fucking hilarious. He was like, you have dreams that you fight with Opie? I said, yeah, all the time. He's like, you gotta fucking tell him. And then on this show, I go, I've never done Opie and anything. I told Rogan that, and he was like, oh, you could get on that show. Okay, so 3 days ago, I get the offer to do Letterman, and I'm sitting in my man cave, and then I get a text, do you want to do the after show with Sam and Roland?
After show?
Who sent that shit up?
Yeah, who the fuck is booking people for the after show?
So I called Jay Moore, and he goes, it's a fucking insult. He goes, tell him you don't do fucking Opie and Anthony, or you didn't do nothing. And I was like, I'm not going to fucking say a word. I'm not saying a thing. I go, I can't do it because my flight's leaving at 1:10, or at 1, so I go, I can't do the late show. I probably would have, because I'm a fan of all parts of the show. So like, even seeing Sam, I saw him in the hallway, and I was like, primetime Sam Roberts?
Well, now it all makes sense, because Justin writes me, I didn't know all this history, and he's like, you really need to have Bert on the show. I'm like, yeah, we're going to have Bert on the show.
Yeah.
So obviously you discussed all this with him.
I told it to Justin.
How do I get on that fucking show?
No, I said, I called Cowhead and I called Jay, and the only two people I spoke to about it, and I think Cal might have told Justin.
Dude, and after all this, you should have walked in the door and just gone, yeah, I'm on. Fuck you! And walked out.
I go, this is going to be my thing. I've been in a long time. Go, you guys go fuck yourself.
Yeah, go fuck yourselves. Assholes, and then leave.
Opie, I have the best
I did that once on his show.
No, you didn't,
He has the best fights with me.
I could argue, like, oh man, I've had so many fucking, I wake up from a dream where Opie, like, threw dominoes at me or something. And in the dream, Jim wasn't there, and I was like, in my head, I'm like, if Jim had just been there, he would be like, Bert's a good guy, Opie.
Be cool, be cool.
I like Bert for many years.
There's a guy I met a few months ago named Bert Kreischer. He's the host of Bert the Conqueror. Really funny guy. I liked him so much. I had him booked on our show on Monday. I think you guys would really like him, and he's a big O&A fan. And I thought this was weird when he wrote me.
Yeah, Justin's like,
and then he writes casually, just thought I'd mention it.
Look at this.
Like, this was discussed ad nauseum.
I'm reading shit. Thought Bert was cool until he started gushing over dumb Sam.
That will ruin it.
You blew it.
Jesus.
I wonder what that was about.
That's you, Sam.
I think we just. I think we just didn't know you, man.
No, it was.
That is a weird thing.
I've seen it happen at radio stations, and it's like. It goes to one guy, and they're like, do you want to have Bert Kreischer on? Not a name you'd recognize. And unless you're familiar with me or know that I started comedy in New York, like, I don't know how it would happen. So I totally got it.
But we've had on Steve the Whistler. We've
but sometimes
people that make toothpick fucking art.
But sometimes it's just that we're overbooked with other people, so it's like, we can't have any more guests.
The last time you didn't have me in, you had literally a fucking gala of stars in here. Like, it was, really? I was like, okay, I can't be pissed at that. It was like, a Friday, and I want to say Donald Trump or someone was in here. Like, it was just fucking all celebrities.
Probably one of those.
Yeah, you know what? It's our loss.
No. I'm glad it's finally happened.
I mean, this would be the only time you're on, but
Yeah.
Perfect time.
It was a great appearance. Though.
Perfect
You can take
timing.
that with you.
They said to me at Letterman, they're like, "You did really great. Let us know when you're back in New York." I'm like, "Next week."
I'm here. Please.
Wow, they
Let me
said that
back
to
on.
us, and we've never been back.
Really?
I swear
Wait,
to
did
you,
they tell
Bert.
you killed it?
I think it's
might-
because of the Leno thing.
We might have fucked it up by going on Leno a little
No,
too
you
soon.
didn't.
No?
Oh boy.
You didn't.
Oh wait.
Oh, I
did
do know
hear
the real
something.
story.
What?
You didn't fuck it up by
I
going on
know
Leno.
that.
Going on Leno was a great move.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I do know the real story.
What's the real story?
Someone got mad.
Howard called Letterman's people. This is the God's honest truth, and it was finally told to me. Yes, I do know, and we're about talking honestly on the show. And I forgot until Jimmy just said that. That is the absolute truth.
Is Howard put the kibosh on it?
Yes.
It's like why you have those guys on.
Yes.
Really?
He goes, everything I've done for you, we've been, pals for all these years, blah, blah, blah. And he called in a favor.
Now that was
That
that was a few years ago.
Oh, yeah. That's
Things
the
probably
absolute
changed,
truth.
But
Yeah, you guys
and I
weren't
do know
merged
that,
then.
and Jimmy knows that, and I can't say who told us.
That
And
was
it's no one that
actually-
we've discussed today, by the way.
That was actually
I do know that.
when we were on.
Because we were like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
that was when you guys did the switch over.
Bert,
By the way, I want to say this. I'm so glad you guys aren't doing terrestrial.
You and me
radio.
both.
I know.
I hated that fucking place.
I literally would just wait until you did the walkover.
Yeah.
And because there's something so real about this. This is so special. Like when you're listening as a listener, because you can't do this on regular radio.
No.
You can't- first of all, you can't talk ad nauseum about nothing.
Right.
Like,
yeah. You need some kind of fucking structure.
We just
and
want a little
bullshit.
bigger audience, and then it would be perfect. It still feels a little thin. at
Because you know
times.
why? Because you don't get around the
Little
country.
thin.
You see how many people listen. Like when you're in Austin, and I sold out a bunch of shows in Austin, and it's literally all because of the show.
Yeah.
It's not, I had never been there. Or when you go to fucking Seattle, and you start seeing like, oh wow, people really do hear it.
Yeah.
In other places.
Yeah, but we killed on
Way to be
Letterman.
dramatic and ruin the fun, Jim.
We killed on Letterman, and one of the big producers came upstairs immediately, said, "You guys killed. We want to get you back sooner than later." And Justin actually turned to me and Ann. Remember? I remember like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
She never comes up here. Holy shit!
Really?
And they're like, "All right, man, we might have an in. This is going to be cool." Never happened again.
Oh well.
And then years later, I do know the exact story.
so now, if you knew it was your only time on Letterman, would you have done things differently? Like pulled a Crispin Glover and tried to kick him?
Yeah, right.
No, he's never been back. Has
What
he?
are you gonna do?
No.
Crispin Glover's fucking out of his mind.
He is fucking insane.
But
Great though when you get a loose cannon like that.
But there was a phone call that was made, and that is the absolute truth. And I would love to hear him deny that.
Oh, I don't think you will. I don't think you'll hear that.
Nah.
You know what else is good about satellite radio? If I got to piss,
Go.
I can just get up and piss.
Go!
Because there's enough people.
Linda Hogan's late, by
in
the way.
room. Yeah, Linda Hogan
How
ain't coming
dare
until
this
what?
broad.
9:30.
That's fine. I got a bunch of questions.
What happened? Maybe she's with the fucking
How
warrior.
strong is Hulk?
Is she with the warrior?
No, the
Maybe
blue
she-
meanie.
She's having sex
She's
with
giving
wrestlers.
she's giving the blue meanie head right now.
right.
having sex with wrestlers.
That's what she's doing.
I get obsessed with wrestling, and I'll go like, I'll get like.
No, let's not talk wrestling.
Okay.
Sam
is just
loves it.
You could do that on the after show.
I won't say a thing.
You could do a whole wrestling show with Sam.
No, I just get
he wouldn't
obsessed with
mind.
dead wrestlers.
Oh yeah.
Like I'll fucking research.
You know our
all the
bit,
shit.
right?
No.
We're trying to go 100 days without a wrestler dying.
Really?
We've been doing this for years. How many years have we been doing it, Sam? A couple
At
years
least
now?
2 years. Yeah, maybe 2.5 years.
And there's been a couple questionable that were low rung guys, but in general, we haven't gone 100 days in 2 years.
Yeah, definitely
without one dead wrestler.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You think it's the pills or the steroids?
It's the lifestyle, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It's all that.
Pills will creep up on you.
It's pills, it's being on the road, that schedule.
73 days was the most.
73 days we made. See, he has a whole, he keeps track and everything.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah, no,
My
man,
job.
it's real.
Man, Macho Man. Holy shit.
That was a big one.
What, did he have a heart attack in a car?
While he was driving.
And, that sucks. I had a teacher in college, awesome dude, like showed up first at like Monday is a writing class. He showed up and he's like, if you want to be a fucking writer, you better not be available on Mondays. Monday classes are canceled. Friday classes are canceled. All we have to do is just, everyone just write and we'll read them. And that was it.
That's awesome.
And then I was like, this fucking rocks. And then
Yeah, why
halfway-
make it so hard?
And he was like, it was awesome, man. And he'd pick, like, there was this hot chick who wrote a story about getting fucked in a meat locker at work. And he was like, and he had read her, and he was like, read yours out loud. And I remember just being like, he had long hair, looked like Jim Morrison. And then halfway through the semester, he was riding his motorcycle, fucking high on coke, and had a heart attack and died.
Jesus.
And then we had a new fucking teacher who was like, classes on Mondays are back.
Of course.
Yeah, but, yeah, but fucking, a lot of good that writing career did me.
Hey, everybody wants me to ask you about the animal.
What's that? Fighting the bear?
I don't know.
What animal?
The animal story I heard on Rogan's podcast. He's amazing. Animal story from Russia. That's the one.
I told the machine story.
Yeah, the machine. Maybe they're getting mixed up.
I fought a bear for Hurt Bert, and that's maybe that's what they're.
Was
talking
it a
about.
trained bear?
Yeah, it was a stage bear. It was like a
But
movie
still,
bear.
what the fuck?
Still a bear, right?
Yeah, it's still a fucking bear, and I'm not certain about this, but I'm almost certain it's the bear that went on to fight Will Ferrell in semi-pro.
Okay,
and that bear killed his fucking trainer.
Yes.
So.
Yes, it did.
So we went out there, and it was Hurt Bert. So I take dangerous jobs for a day. If no one ever saw the show because it got canceled.
Why wouldn't they see that show? It sounds like
was
a great concept.
Kevin Riley bought it and then left and went to NBC, and so it just got.
What happened?
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine.
No, you lifted your phone up.
I was going to say, oh, she's here, but I was going to just bring her in.
Linda Hogan's here?
Yeah, bring her in.
Bring her
We'll
in.
Keep going.
No. I'll fuck the story.
Move over, Bert.
Oh, yeah. You go there.
You move the fuck
Leave
over.
Linda's
We're going to fight.
headphones.
Sweaty, though.
God damn, is she hot?
Sam's.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'll just blow on him.
Oh, no. You just
Where's my
wipe him.
book?
Just wipe
Can
him.
you get it out of the garbage?
Yeah, just wipe him.
So I have a reference. Thanks. Hi, Linda.
Hi guys, how are you?
Here's your soda.
Wow.
Sorry.
You want to sit there?
Please.
Hi, how are you? Jim, nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Bert. Nice to meet you.
You too.
And that's Opie, and that's young Sam.
Damn, you're hot.
That's it.
Holy shit.
You look lovely. And
we
didn't get your book enough. We got it literally yesterday, so we've only perused it. We haven't had a chance to read the whole thing.
Yeah, they should have gave it to us a little earlier, but that's okay. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
I grew up in Tampa, so.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
so don't tell me you're a Hulk fan.
No. I know, but I obviously like the whole area. We have a house in Clearwater right by that greenhouse you guys used to own.
Oh yeah,
On
the
El Dorado?
beach house right there. Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't tell
I think
everyone.
Terry lives on that street. Actually, he lives 2 or 3 houses down from our old house.
Oh yeah.
In a much smaller house, right?
So now, how candid can I be? Because I'm not a part of the show. I'm just a stand-up comedian.
Yeah,
And
that's Bert.
I have tons of questions.
Okay.
Is it cool?
Yeah, she's writing a tell-all book.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, Linda Hogan's telling everything.
Okay.
Wait, just so we're not Team Hulk. We're not Team Linda.
No.
We're going to decide after today.
I'm Team Linda.
We're Team Linda
She's
for
very
today.
attractive and she smells
I'll-
great.
I'll tell you who we are. Brooke, though, we've had in a few times. She's great.
Oh yeah,
We're Team
she's
Brooke.
Amazing. Yeah,
We're
I'm
Team Brooke.
Team Brooke too.
And I think she beat Bob Kelly in an arm wrestling contest. So
Bob
She's
Kelly's,
strong.
one of our. He's
yeah.
kind of one of our transgendered friends.
Yeah. He's sucked a few. But anyway,
So
you want to start, Bert?
Yes, I do.
Yes? What?
What were you asking?
Oh, yes.
We're live.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
we're
yeah,
live.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we're going on over 2 countries.
Okay.
All U.S., all Canada.
is that bad?
Yeah.
No, it's better live. You can curse too.
Oh yeah, no, I'm good.
Okay.
Oh, we started the
these on?
interview already.
Do I
Sure.
need
Yeah,
these
you
on?
put them on if you want. Sure, but you don't have to.
You're going to mess up your hair, though.
Yeah.
And your hair looks good.
I'm okay.
All right, Bert, go ahead.
Okay, this is my first question. I heard that that Hulk cheated on you with Elizabeth.
I don't know that.
Randy Macho Man Savage swears by it, or not
Well,
anymore. But
no, he doesn't swear
I
on
know,
anything
sad.
anymore. Very
Rest
sad
his
story.
soul.
to happen.
No, I don't know about that. I really am not privy to that.
Well, you talk about infidelity in the book, right? Like you do talk about him. When was the first time that you believe, at least, that he was unfaithful? How long into your being together?
In my opinion,
Yeah.
back when Nick was born. I mean, back in '90. It was just my opinion. I had a very strong sense that he was banging one of the girls at the gym.
What made you think that?
Well, we started out working at this one gym. We worked out together. I was trying to get my bod back in shape after Nick was born. And then, we met Corey at this gym. And then pretty soon they started training at another gym near her house. And the workouts went from 2 hours to 3 hours to like 4 hours. And I'm thinking like, what's going on, And I ended up having to hire an investigator. I just had such strong suspicions.
And you hired the investigator. Didn't you get? There was one part of the book I read where you hire an investigator, and there's photos, or there's some. Is she the one that came to you and said that she was? You might be knocked up, and then all the tapes.
No, that was a different situation.
Oh wow!
But, yeah, no, the investigator followed him all around. He posed as a workout guy in the gym, and it's just, you can't unless you can go in the house with him. There's no proof, so I guess it's like I say in the book, innocent till proven guilty.
But there was
I knew in my heart of hearts.
But
you could always tell, like you could just smell it on somebody. You know what I mean? They come home and they're just disheveled, the hair's matted a little bit.
Right. That was one of the problems that we started experiencing. I mean, when I wrote the book mainly, ultimately, to tell other women, that these signs exist. When your heart knows, and instead of sitting there and taking it for so long or thinking that you have no options or there's no way out, there really is. You don't have to sit there and put up with that kind of treatment. Your life counts for something too. Move on, get happy.
Did you, what was the one, you said there was one woman who you thought was a little unbalanced who came to you and said that, that he had gotten her pregnant, and then you hired an investigator, and all of a sudden the investigator disappeared. What happened? 'Cause I didn't...
Well, what happened with that was I had a restaurant, and these postcards started coming anonymously at first, and then she started leaving her name, and they were coming from Germany or Austria or somewhere, and she would write really graphic things on these postcards, and everybody that
like sexually graphic things.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't want to say any foul words.
Please do.
You can say foul words.
Could you please say it and slowly?
I love sucking his juicy blood, and...
about him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Does he have a juicy,
I don't like you, and I just don't want you in my way. You're in my way of me and Hulk's relationship.
Okay,
I mean, it was just this horrible stuff. And they went on for over a year. And I confronted him about that, and I said, what's going on? What am I supposed to believe? Because, this is coming off the heels of the affair that I actually knew about.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is after the gym thing?
At the point where it was after the Minnesota thing. So, I mean, I just didn't know what to believe anymore. It's like I want to believe him. I think everybody deserves a second chance. But this was after his second chance, and I thought, well, he's like, oh, it's just a deranged fan. It's,
right.
You want to believe that. But then again, everything that she was saying was kind of true.
Kind of true,
and
yeah.
Then she said she sent me an audio cassette and said that she wanted to cut my face and burn my house, that she didn't like me, and that she was 9 months pregnant with his child. Oof. And that was pretty much the clincher. I was like, all right, if you know about this and you agree that this is not cool and that you're innocent and that this isn't happening, then you will come to the investigator with me, and we are going to look into this and have this stopped. I want this put to a stop. And he wouldn't go to the investigator with me.
I'm not going to entertain that, brother.
All the postcards and all the tape, everything disappeared from the...
you gave it to the investigator?
Yes, I did, all the stuff.
And then you said you went to the investigator one time and it was just gone. His office had moved?
He had moved, and then when I did try to call him, he said he gave me the new address, but I said, well, I'm coming to pick up all my things. He goes, well, that's going to be kind of hard to do because I don't have them. They got lost in moving, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Lost in
Investigators don't lose evidence.
So what do you think happened?
I'm not going to say. I don't know. My opinion.
Your opinion, of course.
He paid off the guy.
Is your opinion that
he must have gotten paid off
by somebody?
Yeah, I'm not going to mention names, but I mean, yeah.
You think that he might have? Okay. Wow, that's pretty smart.
So this is. I had always been under the impression that the reality show broke you guys up. That's what happens on reality shows. Is it puts a spotlight on everyone. Everyone goes kind of implodes a little bit, but the reality show just kind of gave you the courage to walk away.
The reality show wasn't the part that was the problem. I mean, we had fun doing that show. And in fact, at the time that our marriage was just really on the rocks, we would get up in the morning and his sink was here, my sink was here, and we'd get ready, and he wouldn't look at me. He wouldn't talk to me. He couldn't look me in the eye anymore,
You had separate sinks?
In the same bathroom. But
couldn't think up of something.
It was hard because I would wake up every day and just want to try to have a conversation and whatever. But I think he was just so overwhelmed with secrets and guilt and everything else that
they couldn't even look at you.
Right.
He really couldn't look at me. He didn't want to try to have a conversation. Oops, might screw up your stories.
Yeah.
Right. You never want to say something casually in conversation that wrecks a lie you've told yesterday.
Yeah. And so we really didn't have any kind of this communication or not much of a relationship. And so, but when we would go down and start shooting, there would be a funny scenario that would go on, and we'd all start laughing, and you'd sort of forget it. You'd be in the moment, living in the moment. So it actually kind of brought us together, and I would think that, maybe we could, like, overcome that. And, it was a good day. How you doing today? And he'd go right back to his old mode.
There was a real emotional part in that show when Hulk was on the water.
On the boat.
And he drove by the old house.
Looking at his house.
And
Wow.
he wasn't allowed
When he wasn't allowed to go in the house.
And the dogs are barking.
The dog's barking. I can't even go there, brother.
And he got all emotional. Brooks
Yeah,
getting
he was
all
all
emotional.
mad.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's a good sign of somebody that does a lot of lying, that
Oh, really? That's why I bring it up, because it was a big part of
When they're
the
being
show
outed.
after you guys broke up.
Well, you know what? He's got to live with the decisions that he made. Those are the choices he made, and this is the repercussions. This is just one of them.
So he's a bullshitter, you think?
Yeah.
Wow.
By the way, just to plug this too, as we're going along here, Linda will be signing tonight, Tuesday, 7 o'clock, Bookends in New Jersey. A lot of you have seen me there. It's a great place for a signing because there's a lot of room to wait, so you're not going to get wet if it rains. It's on 211 East Ridgewood Avenue, so you can go there and get your book signed.
Absolutely. And I love the pictures in your book.
Yeah, you seem like you picked a few that made Hulk kind of look like an ass. Not that you did that on purpose. With the big hats like from Apocalypse Now. Why does he always wear hats and headbands?
Because
he's lost all of his hair.
Because he's got shitty hair.
No, I know. I just wanted
It's
to.
just genetic, Some people think that steroids make your hair fall out. I don't really know. I mean, but he lost his hair back. When
It was
he like
thinning when he
28.
was really young.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when he was
you
young.
could definitely
So he
see.
does the bandana thing. My dad actually showed him how to tie the bandana on. We were on a Harley, and he's like, "Here, man, put this on." So that's how.
Did you get
started.
sick of the bandana, or were you okay with it?
You know what?
Honestly, it's just us.
I mean, yeah. The bandana's cool, but I at the time, I loved him for what he was. I didn't care if he was bald or he had green hair or purple hair, But it was always, he was always kind of in character,
Right.
And I was like, can you ever just be you?
Right.
I just does it always have to be the
over the top guy?
I call him for dinner. I'm like, wait a minute, where are you? Maybe I should play his music and then he'll come down.
Should play his music and he'll come down.
Did you think
His entrance music.
in all honesty, did you think that Hulkster in Heaven was a good song?
That song was written for
a
sick kid.
a make-a-wish.
Absolutely, a sad situation.
And
But the song itself, let's just us.
Well,
Was he hoping he was going to be a huge
look,
hit?
he's a wrestler. He's not a singer, okay?
Would you hear it though? I mean,
Really?
forget the part that's nice is what it was meant to be symbolically and who it was for. But would you kind of hear it and go like, "Yeah, turn it off"?
Yeah, it's sad, and I don't know. Jimmy Hart did a lot of the writing on that album, and it was kind of a quick thing, back when Vince was trying to get all the wrestlers to be, that crossover into television and music and stuff like that. So, it was just an amateur album, but,
Will you listen to it when it's on or no?
Hey, I have a song on that album.
What's the
Come
name
on
of
now.
your song? I never heard it.
He's the man.
He's the man? Is it about
boy.
Hulk?
Yeah,
That's nice.
back in the day.
Oh boy.
Do we have a copy of that? Not that you'd want to hear it, but I mean, if we did, we could play it as you.
yeah.
How big's his dick?
Wow.
Okay.
You don't ask like that.
We
you
don't
probably
know,
say
Bert.
on a scale from, let's just say this.
Does the steroids affect that area?
Well, it's just,
That's how you ask that, Bert.
No, you have to ask nicely. You have to
Sometimes
say, look,
it shrinks him down.
Bert.
Hulk.
I'm just curious.
Bert
Yeah.
just blasts that one
Well,
out.
there's a way to ask that. You say, look, he's a big man. You ask a lady nicely. He's a very large man. We were all wanted to know, does he have a large penis? Because
it's a whisper.
it's not creepy if you ask quietly.
Okay.
Really? That makes it so creepy.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
He
coolish.
nicknamed it the peanut.
The peanut?
Oh.
No.
Shut up.
No, wait, now he nicknamed it?
Oh, boy.
Wow. See, that if she was banging Jimmy Carter.
That's
No, I don't want to go like,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be.
No.
You
That's
guys can. Make
He
whatever
nicknamed
you
it the
want of
peanut?
Yeah.
Did you feel that was did you is it now, was it done ironically, like when you see a 6'5" guy, hey tiny, because he's obviously so big? Is that why he did that or no?
Could be.
Oh, I don't think so.
So you're saying the peanut might have been the right name for it?
Could have been.
Yeah.
You didn't like when he said, hey, it's the peanut, you didn't argue and go, no, it's not?
I never had an argument about that.
Is Charlie's bigger?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Hey, I gotta ask you something.
Hey, wait. Take a moment to tell me if this
Hold
is
on,
big
let
or
that
not.
sit there for a second.
We're all uncomfortable. I'm glad you were honest, but it hurts all of us on
But
some.
I mean, Jimmy, you should tell her what turns you on when your girl.
Honestly, when I'm having sex with a girl,
That's why I asked this.
I like when a woman tells me that she has slept with guys who have like I'm fine in that area, whatever. But I like when she talks about guys who are bigger. Like there's a certain humiliation you get as a guy. Like whatever your tab.
Imagine.
It's Jimmy's turn on though.
I like to be a little bit humiliated.
That's
a little
the oddest thing ever.
But it's weird because Jimmy has a big dick, so it's not.
Oh. It's fine. It's not big. It's fine.
It is. I saw it when we did Last Comic Standing 2. I remember
What are you
taking a
doing
piss
looking
next
at
to you.
his-
I just took a look at it, and
Linda,
I said,
we've all seen his dick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're not gay.
It's just what I do.
If you hang out with Jimmy, you see it.
Yeah, when you're friends, you just do it.
He's got a picture
Why
on
are you
his.
stopping now? What am I?
I'd be intimidated to show.
It's on your iPhone.
I
she
could
did
never
ask.
know.
No, I'm good.
I would never. I
really-
could
I'm
never
way good
show
in that department.
Linda Hogan. By the way, this is what a phony I am to the people out there. I said I never could, and I picked up the phone and hit the home button just in case.
Just don't put it on Twitter, okay?
No, I would love to Twitter my hog. Now, there's obviously been you get weird allegations when you're a celebrity. And some of Hulk's old wrestling. What is the thing with him and the Ultimate Warrior? What is this dislike they have for each other?
I don't know. I think it's something stemming back from, the ring, or I really don't know, wrestling talk and stuff, what angles they had going. But you know what? I don't know him, and I've never met him. He's never met my kids. I'd see him from time to time at different, wrestling matches where he'd be behind the scenes with the war paint, but he seemed always very quiet and withdrawn. He wasn't like one of the, talkative, hey guy, how's it going, So, for him to come out and make all these kind of ridiculous allegations is just a shock.
You've heard them, right?
Yeah.
What he said?
Yeah, and it's ridiculous. I mean, it's a joke. I'm the only one that he hasn't slept with. I'm like, well, I haven't slept with anybody but my husband for 24 years, so obviously.
So there was threesomes are fine. I've had a few. They're terrific. I mean, that wasn't part of it. He's just making the whole thing up.
As far as I know, me and Terry were never into, I know I wasn't into threesomes or foursomes or anything like that. Now what he did on the side, because there was a lot of stuff that I didn't know. I don't know that answer. But
yeah, because the Warrior was making He was making allegations.
I was monogamous, yeah.
That it was you.
But, if he wanted to get out there and let people know, I'm back. I mean, if he got out there and started picking on somebody like, an undercard guy that maybe was not such a big name, who would listen to him, first of all?
That's
who even remembers
true,
who he is? So he has to pick on somebody, to get the attention, to grab the attention.
Yeah.
Do you feel like when you hear a guy, like, do you have any, I'm sure you do, but do you have like a dislike or an allegiance to Hulk, or do you kind of get defensive if people attack him, or are you just so done at this point?
You know what? My kids, I've got 2 kids with him, and we don't talk to each other. He would rather have it that way. So everything that we do has to go through the lawyers. But I'm sure the reason being is that he doesn't want to have any kind of a confrontation, have to explain anything to him and account for any of the past actions, but I just try to keep things civil. We've got 2 kids out there, but in my own heart, I've moved on. That's what I talk about in my book. Wrestling the Hulk was my married life, and then now, I'm good. I'm happy. I've moved on. I'm so done.
Are you jealous if he's with another woman? I mean, do you still have that old?
No.
Like,
He's remarried now.
Oh, is he? Okay.
I'm happy for him.
She looks like kind of like you, right?
Well, I think she looks more like my daughter.
Oh, your daughter. Yeah.
Really weird.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
just like our daughter.
Is that creepy to you? Like when you see that?
Yeah, it's creepy to me.
Because
she's not creepy. I've only met her once, but I'm just saying the fact that he would be with somebody that looks that much like my daughter. Yeah, it's very weird.
Now, because you don't think that was any kind of an unconscious thing, or maybe, right?
Well,
subconscious, you mean?
Hulkster is got an hankling for blondes. Okay, so
everyone does.
I always thought blondes. That's why it shocked me when I found out about him and Christiane. Because she was definitely brunette and Brooke's friend.
Oh, was he hooking up with one? I don't know the story.
Yeah, he was. She worked for the record label, and it was just convenient. And I think that's the problem with these guys out there, these politicians and athletes, and even the royalty figures. But they it's so easy for them. The girls throw themselves at them, and it's just there. And
now, if you could have had sex with one pro wrestler other than Hulkster, who would it be?
Well,
yes.
I always
Rick
said
Rude.
I don't know if I could say it was a wrestler.
Chief J. Strongbow?
Back in the day, it would have been David Lee Roth.
You can totally fuck him now. You can fuck him now. He's a mess.
He's available. He's available. We see him.
Aerials across the stage. Yeah.
I thought she was going to say George the Animal Steel. Damn it. Damn it, I lose.
Watching him work that turnbuckle.
Do you like any blonde-haired guys with hair?
Yeah, Charlie.
You're still with Charlie?
Yeah, I'm still with Charlie.
You guys been together a while now, right? A couple years?
3 years.
3 years, damn.
He's good. I mean, he's fun. You know, I'm young at heart. He's young, and it's like I keep up with that. I just don't have anything in common with old guys. I'm over it.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
At the height of things, too, roughly, what was Hulk pulling in a year when things were really good?
Great question,
because
Jimmy.
we have no frame of reference for wrestlers, what they make or what they're. I mean, we know what rock stars make, but what is a wrestler at the height of his game, the number one guy pulling in?
Well,
estimated?
you know, I mean, it was hard to tell because, I mean, it was just, there was income coming from a lot of different areas. It wasn't like just all from a wrestling thing. He had a lot of licensing out there and merchandising, and you know, everybody had the dolls, the sheets, the bed things.
Sure.
Just ask E-Rock how much money he spent.
Yeah, if you had to ballpark it, like a good ballpark.
Because he bought a lot of Hulk
I would
stuff.
say probably between 15 and 20 million.
Wow. A year?
A year? God. Yeah, Hulk was so marketed, though. You're right. The dolls and all this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And
he was the only one, though. I don't think that.
No,
it
yeah,
was
there
like
was a
there's
drop
room
off.
for
Yeah,
one
he
to
was the
top,
big
and
merchandise
then,
guy.
Right, and Vince rolled with him, and they had a great thing. You know, but that was the beginning of cable TV.
Yeah.
And they were able to bring wrestling into everybody's living room and, you know, make it family entertainment, and it just went wild. I mean, from the time I met him, you know, he was driving this 1979 Lincoln around. It was all beat up and living in Minnesota. And, you know, it wasn't like we had, you know, a lot of fancy stuff. I mean, we were just starting out. But, you know, a couple years into the marriage, it just went like wildfire.
Did you get along with Vince?
Oh, I went to a lot of them, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
you got along with.
Did you get along with
Vince McMahon?
Oh, did I? Oh, yeah. Vince and Linda are great people, you know. They were always really nice to us. In fact, you know, I always was a little bit different because Terry was always treated so differently in the ring. He was one of the stars. He was the star.
Yeah.
And so they basically always included me in their little, you know, extra little box seating and stuff like that. So I had a little extra treatment. But super nice lady. She runs that whole company.
Not like
you know,
the
Vince
Brooklyn
is the one on the
Brawlers
road.
girlfriend.
What's that?
Not like the Brooklyn Brawlers girlfriend, you know.
Yeah, she's
Take
sitting
one
in
of those.
Brooklyn or something.
Oh, Chip.
I mean, yeah, there's been some times, you know, I mean, usually while they were back there wrestling, I would sit on a forklift or something in the backstages, and I was just by myself, you know. I went to all those wrestling matches. We put hundreds of miles in the car on the road. Yeah, it was not.
But it was just kind of a,
First
well,
class
hang
in
out until
limos
this
when
is
I met
done,
him.
and yeah.
Hey, I got to ask you about all the dead wrestlers. What's your thought on that? I mean, you know most of these guys that have passed. Seems like the number's way too high.
High mortality rate.
High mortality rate.
It is.
Is it the lifestyle? Is it, Bert said pills. What is going on?
It is the lifestyle, you know. I mean, they're on the road. It's a tough schedule. They're on the road. They're away from their families. They're away from their wives. You know, and you just start living in a hotel room, and pretty soon you just kind of forget what you have at home. You got to just kind of make do. They're just together. There's women at every port. I don't know if that messes with their heads or they're just truly not happy. But it's one of those things that you can't quit. The money's so good, you can't, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to move on to something else.
And then that's what they do, you know. So what are you going to do? Go be a used car salesman or something?
Yeah,
it's just like they're a wrestler through and through.
We've had enough of the guys in, and the schedule's
But I
just
think
brutal.
because of their size and their weight, you know, if a doctor gives you a prescription for a particular dose of medicine, it doesn't work on them. I mean, they're so much heavier than most
It's like
normal
a
people.
horse.
Yeah, so they take a lot of it, and I don't think that a lot of them know their limitations, and I think they just overdo it, and they don't realize that one time it's just going to be proved to be too, you know, to go work out, and then they come home, it makes them sweat. It's just
sweat on like a nasty sweat.
Profusely, like, I mean, they're just always just huffing and puffing and sweaty, and just, you know, it's an intensity, I guess, that I can't really explain, but it gives them that adrenaline and that rage, and, you know, that's the thing in my book I want people to know about is that I didn't want to be the recipient of a raging, you know, attitude. If you had a fight that would escalate, getting the last word in was not a smart thing to do. You know, I mean, you just didn't want to perturb him.
Yeah,
so.
those big mitts would probably do some damage.
He's a very frightening dude. Was there ever any violence? Did it ever get to that point?
Yeah.
Physical, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like I was walking around with black eyes like Mike Tyson, but, you know, there were times that I just thought, you know, okay, a squeeze on the arm really hard, or a pushing with your finger, or squeezing your face. Or
He squeezed your face?
Yeah, you know.
I was hoping you'd squeeze mine because she poked me, and I liked Linda poking me.
It's like a bullying. It's kind of
Yeah.
like bullying.
He'd goon arm you a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if you know, calling me dirty words, and it's like names, that's abuse. It is abuse at a certain level, and it can escalate. And that's what women don't realize. They just think that that's going to stay like that. Well, you know, they get comfortable with that, and then a little bit more, and then a little bit more, and then what's next, you know?
Right.
If you see Sweaty Hulk come in, run. Make sure dinner isn't late.
There were broken lamps and torn shirts and clumps of hair out of my head. You know, that's not
He
okay.
pulled your hair?
Yeah.
When you were arguing to do what? To stop you from leaving the room?
I don't
or
think
just...
he meant it, but we were in a fight, and it was pulling me around the room.
He's
My
probably
shirt
just
tore,
jealous
my
of the
hair.
head of hair you got.
Yeah, I know, right? Did he tape it on his own head?
Yeah.
Is he a smart guy?
Tape it on his own head. That's funny.
Did you know he was done when he did the leg drop on you? Was that like finally?
Well, that was his
Fight's
finish.
over. Yeah, it's like
Finally did the leg drop.
all right. The
Now
leg
make
drop.
dinner.
1, 2,
I can
3.
finally take a shower.
Did you ever lift up his arm while he was sleeping and see if he was like, oh, 1, 2, whoa. Is he a smart guy?
Yeah,
He's got to be.
Really? No, he doesn't.
Why not?
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't need to be smart. I mean,
I think to last as long as he has, I think you got to be kind of smart.
probably. Well,
He seems like he's smart in business.
I mean, let's put it this way. I mean, he's not a meathead wrestler. He's a wrestler, but he's also a businessman. So
You
that's
should
why
have had
he
you
was able to
sign a
handle that
prenup,
spot.
but besides that, he seems smart.
Well, you never heard stories about how he had a bunch of money and lost it, aside
Right.
from divorce.
Thanks,
but
Stevie.
how much did you get?
How much did I get?
Yeah.
Oh, in the divorce?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't say that stuff.
Is that
Just wink it to me.
How about this?
Sign language?
Let me just ask you.
Wink out the millions.
Can I say? No, I'm not going to say anything. I just wrote something down. Can you just look at that and just tell me, am I crazy?
I can't really say, you know. I mean,
fine.
whatever we had, I got half.
Hey,
Okay, I wrote down 20.
Then why is he in the smaller house?
I think he just likes living
Small
So it's a
house.
great house.
I like living large. You know, I
You've
need
been
a
in the-
bigger
you've
house.
been in
I
the
got
Hulk house?
animals and-
Fuck yeah. Not in it.
Oh,
but-
you're Team Hulk.
No. I'm
Well,
not
where's
team
E-Rock?
Hulk.
I'm saying that now because I'm in here.
No,
Where is E-Rock? I know.
I saw Hulk at I think at there's a restaurant in Clearwater.
Yeah.
One day, and he's an impressive guy to see.
He
I
really
mean, he's in
is,
great
you
shape.
know,
His
yeah.
back is all fucked up. You could tell because he's
Language.
like limping. Sorry, but he's an impressive guy. But I was neither team at all. You guys actually looked like I flew on a song flight with you guys.
Oh,
one
Song
time they used to
Airlines, I
rent
remember
out the
that.
entire. You guys would buy rows.
Yeah.
And so they instead of flying first class, they didn't have first class. So they buy rows. I was impressed. First of all, how you guys seem like a really tight family. When I was like sitting with you guys pretty much, and I was really impressed at how pretty your daughter is. She's
you.
overwhelming. Like she is what she should be a movie star of like a fucking like just gorgeous.
She just did a movie called Sand Sharks out in California. It's for the Sci-Fi Channel.
boy.
It's a TV movie, so she's doing a little acting.
we love
Sand
those.
what?
Sand
Oh,
Sharks.
sharks.
It's cute. It's a really cute film. And and Nick just got doing a part in another movie where he gets like I guess beat up by thugs and taken away at gunpoint. You know, and he's been
How's he
dabbling
doing?
in a little bit of movies. He's DJing right now.
He's had a rough few years, huh?
Yeah, it's been tough. You know, I mean, that's what happens. You know, people don't realize that infidelity, you know, and then trying to live through that and rebuild, and then, you know, it just eventually, it just really doesn't work out. You try to pick up the pieces and start over again, but it's not, it's just something's changed.
Could you
It's
have
different.
forgiven if it was only once or twice over the years? Could you have forgiven it, or is it always there?
Well, you know what the problem is that it's not the act of the sex that they've had. It's not the actual act that's bugging you, okay? I mean, he had sex with people before we got married. It's not the fact that he had a sexual affair with somebody else. It's the lifestyle that it creates, the lies, the mistruths. Just, you know, you never know what to believe anymore. Is he really going to the store, or is he, you know, what?
Right.
And then you're
You know,
wondering
and
if you're going to get a
hidden
baseball
cash
bat
and
to the
the
back of your
extra
head
telephones and,
from one of
it's-
these broads.
It's a secret life.
Right.
Yeah.
They lead a secret life away from you, and it's just you don't know what to believe anymore. You just think like, okay. So that's when I made my decision to say, you know what, my life counts for something too. I've stood by you. Had I blown the whistle and made this a public whole thing back 10 years, you know, at the 10-year mark when I found out about his first affair, he had to admit to me, you know, he would not have had a career. I mean, what happened, that would have not have been okay for Hulk Hogan to be doing that. So,
you sat on it.
I figured that, you know what, maybe it is the point where, girls throw themselves. Maybe it wasn't all his fault. I tried to do forgiveness and make things work, but it got to a point where he's like, he's sitting there waiting for his breakfast. I'm like, I don't even care if you eat or not. I'm like, you're mad. But I tried to put the pieces back together, and then, you just sense it's happening again. You get those feelings, and it's like...
You can just pick it up, right?
When
it's a vibe.
it was happening. I sensed it. I asked Brooke, I said, you don't think that him and Christiane are... Oh, Mom, no, she's my friend, da-da-da. Well,
How would you tell? Would he drive her home and stuff like that? Or was it...
like he'd pull in the driveway and sit there and talk on his cell phone for like a half an hour, and I would look out the window.
That's a dead giveaway right there, yeah.
Would you check the phone bill?
He had 3 cell phones, okay? I opened the safe to go get my jewelry.
So wait,
it was full of cash, like $50,000 of cash.
Wow.
And I'm like, why do you need this much cash? Well, if you're supporting a madame,
He had a couple of phones?
3.
So he had like a good boy phone.
The one that I knew where the bill came home to me.
And another naughty boy
and
phone.
a naughtier boy phone.
He's definitely going to get brain cancer with that many phones.
Oh, you got to watch out.
I mean, just, too many, and the signs were there. But, I put that in my book. I do list the signs because a lot of women out there, if you don't know what to look for, I list the signs and the emotions that I went through. And you got to trust your heart of hearts, girls.
What do you say to all the Hulk fans? Because
all the Hulk fans?
They must hate you.
I do get a lot of people that are like, oh, I'm a gold digger, and how can I do this to Hulk, and I'm not saying that I had that I hate him or anything else. I mean, I had a wonderful marriage. I married the guy, I had kids with him, but the one thing I want them to know is that there are 2 sides to every story. And I don't know what they would have done if they were in this situation, if their spouse or whatever is cheating on them and lying to you every day.
Did you guys ever videotape yourself having sex?
No.
Oh, really?
Jesus.
Well, when we first got married, we did, and then it was on a beta. Or
God!
I would pay to see that.
I don't know when you're.
You have to.
We thought we can't leave this in the house. What if we get on a plane and we crash?
All
and
of a sudden it's flying or
so
something.
We put it on the barbecue and melted it.
Did you really?
Seriously?
Yeah, that was it.
Would it be nice though to see what you look like now? Like look back at that and be like, oh.
We got a question from one of our audience members.
He's this kid come in. He's a Hulkamaniac.
He spent a lot of money on that merchandise.
He's from Florida.
Yeah, exactly.
You definitely contributed. What kind of Hulk merchandise did you buy? What's your name?
My name is E-Rock.
E-Rock.
And,
welcome to the show.
Yes, the neck.
I had
Born and raised in Florida?
No, Long Island.
Oh, I thought they said you were from Florida.
They said you were from
Sam.
Florida.
Said that. I'm from Long Island.
Okay.
All right.
No, I had the belt. I had.
Look at Linda. What's wrong?
Why is she looking
Is she that pretty or
guy
something?
And,
Look at Linda.
Look at her.
You don't have to look at me.
The big rubber figures from the 80s and things like that.
What about like sheets?
No, never had the sheets.
Oh.
Never had the sheets and never had. I wanted the pull-away shirt.
Never
got that.
Because every shirt you owned did
You know, that was my idea.
That was your
Really?
idea? Oh, boy.
Yeah,
Was it really?
I'm from California, and I had a beach cover-up, a T-shirt that was. I was cutting it with scissors, and you stretch it and you pull it, and it was all shredded so that you could see your bathing suit through it, but not really. You weren't like in a see-through thing.
It just sexes
and
everything
we were
up.
in our kitchen in Minnesota, and I didn't know too much about the wrestling, but Billy Graham Superstar back in the day was very flamboyant with his boas and his bright pink color. So Terry said, let me try that shirt on. And so I said, you want to try my shirt on? So it was a dress on me, but of course when he put it on, his wide lats and stuff, he just put it on and the rips and stuff just shredded, and he dug the look. I was like, it does look pretty good. So we started doing that to his wrestling shirts, where he would like the Hulk, the ripping out of the shirts and stuff. So that's how that whole thing started.
I
was happy when they started mass producing them, because I was like every night cutting up the T-shirts.
So are you Team Hulk? You're not mad that Linda's saying this stuff, but your hero.
No, I mean, she seems very nice. And
Look her in the eye.
Look her in the eye. Be a man. Would you look? She's a nice
she
lady.
seemed very nice. And,
You got a lot of Hulk stuff in your house.
I guess it's sad that the whole relationship fell apart.
Stop sheepishly looking at the
Shut
floor.
up.
All right,
Look up.
Hey.
No, he's right.
What I
I
want to
should.
know is, though, when you did split and you started going out with Charlie, I'm sure you heard this a lot, but he looks just a younger version of your husband. So isn't that kind of weird to just go out with the same guy that you were already married to?
What type of question is that?
Oh, come
No, I've heard that before.
Dude, you don't have to answer that.
Yeah, Charlie has all his
I
hair.
mean, I don't see it. I mean, I guess I do a little bit because, okay, they both got blonde hair, the blocked off short blonde hair. But,
Who invited this guy?
I was alone and lonely for 9 months after I'd filed for divorce.
Yeah.
Terry was already living with Jennifer. And, I was like, what am I supposed to do? I just still felt bad being married, even though I wasn't living with him, and we were going through the whole rigors of divorce. I just felt like I shouldn't date until the divorce is final. I'm Catholic and the whole guilt trip, and I'm like, but on the other hand, it's like everybody else does it.
Yeah.
I hate to say, I was like, I need to meet somebody. I need
Younger
to go
model.
out and start
My
doing
mother
it.
used to say, if everybody jumped off a bridge, would you do it, Chip?
I just was. I had been married to a famous person for a long time, and there's, they're gone, they're busy, they're doing their thing, and I just really enjoy the fact that when I met Charlie, he was there for me. He was just there to hang out, and we, did all the things that I wished I could have done with Terry.
Satisfy you,
ride the bikes.
You happy you attacked Linda? She's a nice woman. You attacked her with
You're attacking her like that?
That's a fair question.
What's your favorite Hulk thing you got at your house?
Yeah.
I have.
It was a part 2 question, by the way.
It's I forgot the number, but the WrestleMania where he fought The Rock. It's the jersey. He signed that for me.
Oh,
he signed that for you.
After all these years.
Wow.
Great.
That's
I
wonderful.
think I have a picture of him in my purse.
Yeah?
What kind of ring is that, by the way?
Just some decorative jewelry.
Oh, it's not a big fancy one. I couldn't tell if that was like just a piece of costume.
What, are you going to rob her on the way out?
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe I shake her hand and I take the ring. That's what I do.
So, where are the kids at?
Nick is at home. With me.
No, I mean with this whole thing.
Where are they at with this?
Did they take sides, or are they cool now?
No,
I think they took sides for a while, right?
In the very beginning when the divorce was going on, Terry and Brooke were doing a TV show with VH1. Brooke Knows Best down in Miami, and Brooke had just found out about him sleeping with her girlfriend.
Jeez.
And she was really upset. I mean, I basically, I was not a stranger to that. I had to kind of just take her and kind of make sure she was okay, so.
How'd she find out? How did it get confirmed?
I went down to Miami to help her decorate her little apartment for the show. Christy Ann came over that night, and, we were just having some wine and some drinks, and it was Valentine's Day. And then the next day I left, the cameras were going to come, and I went home. And she was filming that day with her dad. That went good. The second day, I guess one of her friends came up to her and said, how's everything going and stuff? I mean, all that stuff with your dad and all. And she goes, what do you mean that stuff with my dad?
Oh, boy.
And he goes, well, I thought you knew. And she goes, no, what? He goes, about him and Christy Ann. She's like, what? And at that point, then she found out, and she thought back immediately what I had sensed, back at New Year's. And I said, I'm not surprised. I thought so, but I really just needed to be there for her. She was really crushed about that.
Yeah, that would probably do it.
But those pictures.
And then I realized why my marriage sucked so bad that last year. That I was like, all the times that he said he was going to the recording studio, I'm like, was he really there all night?
Right.
It's a block away from solid gold. Okay.
Yeah, he's over there running around like he's a jogger or something.
No,
we weren't focusing on the music,
right?
Focusing on everything but.
Do you?
What?
What?
Gotta go.
Well,
can I ask one final question?
Sure.
Because Hulk's not here, and we're getting one side of the story. What would you say you could have done better in the whole marriage?
Ooh, good question.
No,
thank you, Bert. Thank you. Because it's hard because we don't get the other side of this, and I don't think Hulk's going to be on our show anytime soon. So.
Well, no. I mean, there are two sides, and I mean, if you look back and you say, okay, could I have done something better? I guess I could have probably addressed it in a civil way, but I mean, at that point, you are just already so full of animosity, and that you're getting duped. Bringing anything up to him just caused a big fight, so I just quit bringing it up. But, I wish maybe I had talked about it earlier and maybe just addressed it with him and said, are you having an affair?
Instead of letting it build up for a long time. Look, I got to say, I think this book's going to be really good.
What I've read of it is fucking great. I mean, it's very honest.
You're being open and honest about things. You don't get that a lot of times.
Yeah, you answered everything. It's really great. People come in and they tell all books and they don't want to say anything.
Well, I kept a diary, for the kids all these years, but I had a lot of the stuff written down. It would almost became my diary,
Right.
And so when I went to go write the book, it was easy to recount the situations and the feelings and the emotions that I was going through at the time because I had my, my journal. But yeah, I wrote it heartfelt. That's just my accounting. From my point of view, that's how I felt throughout the marriage.
Well, tonight the book is called Wrestling the Hulk, and it's Linda Hogan's book. It's very honest, and you can get it signed 7 o'clock if you're in Jersey at Bookends, which is a great independent place. It's in Ridgewood. It's on 211 East Ridgewood Avenue. A lot of you have already been there, so you know where it is. It's a great place because there's a lot of room to stand indoors. You're not going to get
Were you selling the place?
I like to let people know because who hasn't gotten wet in the rain? Put your hand up. I rest my case.
My very first book signing. Yay, everybody but your crown.
Yeah, good luck. You're very nice. And
Linda Hogan.
I wish you weren't taken. You're very sexy.
Good.
She's sexy,
Yeah,
right?
but
Linda,
she'd
you're
go for me.
sexy.
Imagine if you went from Hulk Hogan to this. What a great story that would
I'm
be.
used to the bald.
Oh, thank you.
there you
She
go.
gave my head a rub, but not a sexy rub. Like, oh, look at the little dog rub. And you're right.
Take a look at the picture. No peanut there.
Bert, you good? No more questions?
No, it's a pleasure. You're kind of a fixture of Tampa. Yeah, your family was, and it's a pleasure meeting you. You're a fantastic lady.
And your show's on tomorrow because we're closing up here.
I think we're going to close
Wednesday
up.
nights at 10. You should watch my show on Travel Channel.
Love
Henry
to.
Winkler's a big fan.
Oh,
Yes.
Channel.
Bert the
Yeah,
Conqueror.
Bert the Conqueror at 10 o'clock on Travel Channel.
We'll do it.
We're good?
I think that's it.
Thank
Linda
you,
Hogan,
man.
thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you tomorrow.
This is the Opie and Anthony Show. Opie and Anthony. Opie and Anthony on the virus. Sirius XM.
All gravelly.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Jets. You wore that shirt just the other day.
Well, I did a nagel. I woke up at 7.
Oh, shit. A nagel.
Yeah.
Did your alarm screw up, or did you lose power, or both?
I did exercise for the first time in 20 years, and this fat ass passed out.
What'd you do?
Wow.
The bike.
You know people die from that, right?
No.
Like
Yeah.
not working it up 20 years.
Yeah.
And then you just start working out. It's like,
you gotta-
damn.
You got to
That's
start
always how the heart
slow.
attack happens at the gym.
I don't remember.
Because it knocks some of that plaque off your
I did
arteries and then
elliptical for an
clogs some
hour,
shit up.
Went home, passed out, then I woke up at 7:10, 7:15.
Wow. you beat the shit out of yourself.
You literally passed out and then woke back up like like your body did a snooze alarm on you.
Yeah, and I just woke up and then.
Which means you're not working out anytime soon, huh? You're going to have to take a couple of days off now.
I don't feel sore. I feel like more refreshed. I slept in. That's fantastic.
Oh, because of the sleep part, not the workout part. Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Roland tweeted me last night. I was with you guys know Cowhead, right?
Yes.
I was with Cowhead drinking, and
Is he here in New York?
yeah, he just left this morning.
What was he
long was he
doing
here
up
for?
here?
He came up to see me do Letterman. He flew
Oh,
up,
well, you
yeah.
guys are old friends?
Yeah, I've known Cal since
He's a good guy, man.
for
I
a
like
long,
him.
really long time.
He should have came by and said hi to
He was
us.
he was going to change his flight, and then he was like, he's got to go back and do radio this afternoon.
How was Letterman?
It's awesome, dude. It was so surreal. It's so bizarre when you get him to laugh and do a Davism. Like when he does that, like smirk to camera, like or one of those, and you're sitting there. Like when I sat down on the thing, I started giggling because I was like, "Holy shit, this is really fucking happening!"
Yeah.
like it's such a benchmark in your career.
The first time, that is a fucked up thing.
And he does one of his bits, and you get him to do one of his bits.
Yeah.
He's like, you're one of these guys, huh? And you're like, fuck, holy shit.
He's doing that to me. What the fuck is going on?
It's like it's like fucking a porn star, and then being like, oh my god, I'm really gonna blow a load on her chest. Like, that's probably a bad analogy that Travel Channel would hate, but that's exactly what it feels
What
like.
the hell?
When you stand in the back there, and he's like, ladies and gentlemen, our next guest, and
so
you just,
fun. And
you're
all
like,
the guys that you've seen as characters
like,
on the show,
oh,
the black
shit.
guy and the guy with the red hair, and you're like, holy shit, they're real. They really have
I
jobs.
know, that's fucked up, man.
It's so
And then you walk
bizarre.
out and you think, how am I going to walk? Should I look at the audience and wave?
Yeah,
Should
because I'm like, exactly. Oh, fucking exactly. It's like Jim is the perfect body of this moment. Is that you're very real in those like I'm not famous, but I should wave to the people.
Yeah.
You embody that because you're very honest about that moment. But a lot of guys are like bullshit. Like a lot of guys would go out and be like, hey, like paparazzi was waiting outside.
Yeah.
And I got out of my car in a white T-shirt that I was sweating in and jeans. And they're like, hey, turn here. And I was like, you don't want to fucking see me. You're waiting for Shia LaBeouf. So I walked out. I just walked out like a fucking serial killer right to the chair and sat down.
And then you sit down, and for some reason, I was compelled when I sat down to just go,
Hey, Dave.
Yeah,
like it's like, hey, Dave.
Did you want to look at Paul and go, hey, Paul?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I
You just
want to say that shit.
All you realize you're doing is an imitation of everyone you've seen. Dude, it's hilarious.
You're just like the A-listers that do the show.
Exactly. It's like, I earned this, motherfucker. I earned this.
When inside, you're like, you don't want me to be on that couch.
And then it wraps, and you're done, and you want to lean over and have the moment where
have that talk where it's like,
the
music's playing, they're going to commercial. I think I did that just to make it look like that. Because the people at home, they don't know. Yeah. So you lean over and you're like, hey, so you're going to commercial, huh? Just to make it look that way. And I did realize all I was doing was an imitation of everyone I've seen on Carson, on Letterman.
Just
on
mimic
every
it.
Other, mimicking from when I was a kid.
We had to walk out and there were tennis balls all over the fucking stage.
I saw you got y'all's
We had
appearance.
to walk.
Oh, yeah.
And we dressed up in suits.
Oh, it was
like
great.
we're going
That
to
was
church.
the one thing they're like, what are you going to wear? And Cowhead called me. He's like, do not wear a fucking suit.
Don't wear a fucking
You've never
suit.
worn a suit in your life. He's like, go like you're on stage. Wear a t-shirt, jeans. We just ended up talking about the show.
Why did you jump, Bert? I read that you jumped like out of the. My ex-girlfriend did that, where you jump off the thing in Vegas.
I was the first person to do it.
Were you?
Yeah, I was the very first person to do it.
Before we go there, I want to hear.
Guinea pig.
Hold on, before we go there though, I want to hear about you robbing a train in Russia. That's crazy. Because then we'll get into the show and all this crazy shit you've done as Bert the Conqueror. I want to know more about Bert.
I'll tell you. It's so fucking bizarre because I've heard this show so many times, and you always think like, what will it be like with the first time I'm there? And then you're like, oh fuck, I guess I'm telling this Russian mob story. So I studied Russian in college. Just on a fluke, I thought it was a Spanish class, and showed up at noon, and they were introduced a different alphabet, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
You come across as a party animal. How the fuck did you take?
I was the number one party animal in the country.
Russian.
Like Rolling Stone magazine wrote an article about me, calling me the number one party animal in the country. So yeah, I'm not fucking by any stretch of the means wanted to learn the language. I just wanted to see. And the lady said, I need 14 people to take the class. If you stick around and just show up, I'll let you fucking get a C. I was like, done.
C,
fucking done.
Yeah, man.
It's Florida State. Fucking phone that shit in. So I ended up I had to take 4 seasons of Russian because all the kids that took it with me with Russian 1 then needed Russian 2 and 3 and 4. And then they go to Russia and they're like, fuck. So this is back when the mob ran Russia, okay? And so they told me on the flight over there, like, listen, we had to pay off the mob to chaperone us so that we don't get patted down everywhere we go. So we got 2 young gangsters that we'll meet. They're like, don't make eye contact with them. Don't engage them. Don't fucking... And nothing. Leave them alone. They're just to make sure we don't get robbed everywhere we go. And all I'm hearing is fucking, let's get to know these guys.
Yeah.
Right?
These are the
these are who I want to party with. So the very first night, and I don't speak any Russian, the very first night I got a bottle of vodka, a 6-pack of Baltica, and I knock on their door, and this guy Igor answers the door.
Igor, yeah.
With just a wife beater and a cigarette and fucking track pants, total gangster. And he's like, "Shto." And I'm like, all the sentences I had practiced in your boots. And I was like, yeah. So I packed it. My wife's like, who the fuck do you think you are, Johnny Depp? She was like, get a collared fucking shirt and pack a colored fucking shirt.
Slob.
So
What
then
are you
I
doing?
showed up with 4 colored shirts because I was like, I don't know which one will look good.
Yeah.
Oh, I was such an amateur. Oh, it was
Know who
ridiculous.
loves you over there
we
is
don't like the
Justin
guys.
loves you.
Oh, Justin's
emailing me. He's like,
Justin's
you have
cool.
to have Bert on the show. I'm like, we're going to have Bert on the show.
Yeah.
Relax.
Justin was amazing.
This is a good fit for us, Bert the Conqueror.
I met him through Cal. And
Yeah, he's very cool.
oh, one of the fucking greatest guys. Him and his brother. And
Yeah.
it was like
Solid
and
dudes.
They told me they're like, so these are the talking points that you're gonna do. Bizarre. Like Travel Channel's very I can say whatever I want on this show.
Yes, you can.
On this show,
They're
yeah.
very micromanaging me because I'm a little bit of a media nightmare. Like I have a horrible digital footprint. Like my first meeting with the president,
funny.
she was like, "I typed in your name and I saw you get your asshole waxed," and I was like, "Yeah, that was my funniest thing I've ever done." And she was like, "Yeah, well, that's not us.
We don't do that.
Wait,
here.
why did you get your asshole waxed?
It was a long time ago. I had a show called Hurt Bert, and I'd take dangerous man's jobs, and that was like what got the show. I got a full Brazilian wax. It's maybe the funniest thing I've ever done, and it's before Jackass. It's before all of that.
You did ball bag?
Yeah, I did the whole thing.
Wow.
I'm telling you when I say this, it's the funniest thing I've ever done. But it's also when segments were 7 minutes on TV, so it's like a 5-minute segment. Which
Fuck that.
So I get there, and the producer Mike's like, doing a conference call in the morning, and he's like, so we want you to tell about the time you robbed a train in Russia. We want you to tell you about the time that you fought a bear. We want to tell you about the time that you went to Disneyland and took acid. And then maybe we'll talk about the show. And I can see the PR people going, what the fuck? Just talk about the show.
Yeah, just the show.
And so I get there and I'm like, man, there's a lot of material. And they're like, it's going to be 9 minutes. And I was like, holy shit. And then Shia LaBeouf goes long and they're like, well, it depends. It's however long Dave wants.
Shit.
And but I was so nervous I had to tell all these stories that I've never, like, on national television, and then Dave just fucking so comfortable. He's like,
yeah,
he must have been loving it.
He's,
hey, can you tell us one of those stories? Because we didn't get to watch Letterman last night.
I didn't tell any of them. I just told.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I didn't tell.
Sirius XM, the virus. The Opie and Anthony Show.
Back with the O&A Show. Thanks for checking us out today.
Hi.
A little over 2 hours, and then it's meeting time.
Oh, boy. The countdown. Great. Yo.
Where's Jimmy?
Jimmy went to go get an autograph.
Ah.
Yep, he's got a picture. Did you get it?
See him. No, he's
What?
somewhere.
Wait, he's in the building?
The Fonz is in the building?
Hey.
I have a good picture with him, but I just want to get him to sign it. But I missed, because Spencer said he's coming up right now, but I had to come in and get the photo, because I didn't know he was here.
Shit, so where'd he go?
I don't know. I'm looking for Spencer all over. He's here somewhere.
What show is he doing?
He's doing a bunch of them. We tried to get him, but he won't do any. They said he was very nice about it, but he's afraid of all the
what
shot
if we
shows.
promise that we won't do anything crazy with him?
But, and then he knew we had Brooke Shields. I think he's just nervous about this kind of.
Is he doing BT in the morning?
BT. What's that? BT in the morning. No. No, he's actually a big fan, but he's doing.
Oh, Jesus, no.
BT in the morning.
No, there's not.
Yeah. You're like, Phil Zetley, come on.
I gotta get him to sign it, but I don't want him to use cardboard, because it fucks up when they sign on cardboard, because the...
you get the, the little corrugations.
So how's it going to be, what is he going to sign?
Oh, he's rolling.
I don't know, Opie. I got to find
You're
something.
panicking. Where's Bert?
No one's helping me.
Where's the Conqueror? Where's Bert the Conqueror? Is Bert here?
Yeah, he's right outside the door.
You should use,
Put newspaper over the cardboard and then put the photo on.
Nah, it'll still fuck up, but thank you.
What a dumb idea.
Hey, Bert. What's up, brother?
How you guys doing?
There he is.
Hey, man.
The fuck is this?
Take a seat there, Bert.
Oh, Juice. Thanks, Roland. Oh, obviously
Hey,
you're...
Roland. Why does your voice sound